A few breaths later, the clustered lightning arcs cracked down. Before Emo could react, tens of bolts that were twice as large as before fell on Emo. A few breaths later, the clustered lightning arcs cracked down. Before Emo could react, tens of bolts that were twice as large as before fell on Emo. Emo was scared shitless. Without hesitation, he released his octagonal cauldron and Zisu. But even so, more than 10 bolts fell on his body. There was one that was the size of a muscular man's arm. Emo spat mouthfuls of blood. He was heavily injured already. There was not a single part of his body that was fine. This divine damnation was ambushing him. Emo was sure that if he didn't have the octagonal cauldron or used it too late, he would be dead. This wave had 63 bolts of lightning. There were 7 waves of lightning altogether. Emo used the 3-birth chant to devour the lightning bolts while using his octagonal cauldron and Zisu to block the dense lightning arcs. However, there were too many bolts this time. Even the octagonal cauldron was rattling and shaky. The cauldron images dissipated. Emo was beginning to lose his hold, but then the 3-birth chant showed its power once again. He devoured lightning more and more rapidly. There had been 10 waves already. He guessed that he would be dealing with 11 waves this time. Thus he released formation flags and drew most of the lightning arcs into the lightning storage formation. Luckily, he had a lot of pills and the octagonal cauldron to help. Even though he was heavily injured, his foundation wasn't damaged. When he completely refined these lightning arcs, he would be mostly recovered. At the same time, Emo felt that his power kept climbing until it reached a point where he was about to break through to hollow spirit state. With a rumble, the last 9 bolts came down. When Emo saw they were size of a lower leg, he immediately knew he couldn't take them head-on. Without hesitation, Emo used Zisu to block 1 and directed 3 into the lightning storage formation. There were 2 blocked by the octagonal cauldron, and then the last 3 fell on his body. These lightning arcs were so much stronger than the previous ones. The land was shaking, but Emo couldn't care. He just had to keep devouring lightning and increasing his power. Before Emo could finish, large patches of rainbow clouds appeared, but different from before. They weren't rainbow-colored but black. This was when Emo needed spirit chi the most. The tens of millions of spirit stones didn't supply enough to him. As Emo devoured the black spirit cloud, he felt his power rise continuously. After he completely devoured all of the black clouds, he roared and flew up. At the same time, his essence spirit formed. It was a faint shadow, but Emo knew his strength skyrocketed. He was finally hollow spirit state. Just when he wanted to consolidate his power, he felt his lightning storage formation rustle. Not good, it was going to explode. Emo went into the golden page world without hesitation. He knew that there was no time to devour the lightning inside. Despite his formation skills increasing, there were just too many lightning bolts stored there, and now it was going to explode. Rumble. Just when Emo went into the golden page world, the lightning storage formation completely exploded, forming a terrifying blast of air, and the space beneath the crack began to collapse. Emo just threw a surveillance formation disc out, and it was blasted into nothing. When the cultivators saw 63 lightning bolts that were size of grown men's arm come down, they all took a cold breath in. Since when had they seen such a terrifying divine damnation? This wasn't divine damnation, it was trying to kill the cultivator. How did this cultivator offend the heavens? The cultivator would be dead for sure. However, another 9 bolts rained down. Clearly, this was the last wave. The size was that of a small leg. It was the same size as a truth realization state's immortal ascension divine damnation. It was the first time that all the cultivators here had seen such a terrifying divine damnation. That Qianbei actually survived the 63 bolts of lightning, my god! One cultivator exclaimed. Clearly, the last wave rained down because the cultivators survived the 63 bolts. Just looking at the last wave, people's head crawled with bugs. No one had the feeling of dealing with this divine damnation, but there were some people who believed the cultivator survived. After all, he survived the 63 cluttered bolts before. Another wave of rumbling sounded. Cultivators felt the earth beneath them shaking. Even after a long while, it didn't stop. After another while, the shaking was getting stronger and stronger. "What's going on?" some cultivators asked, but no one could answer that question. "Look at the middle of the swamp, there's an eddy," one cultivator pointed and screamed. It was only a few kilometers in distance. "It really is an eddy!" The eddy seemed to be getting bigger and bigger. "Wait, I feel as though the earth below is crumbling." Finally, one cultivator realized the problem. Suddenly, the earth where some cultivators stood began to crumble. All the cultivators began to worry. Some high-powered ones released their magic artifacts and dashed up, while some weaker cultivators were swept away. Those cultivators in the sky also felt an increasing suction force. "This swamp is going to sink." One cultivator realized the terrifying truth. The next moment, the swamp seemed to flow into the earth with astounding force. The earth rumbled with terrifying sounds. The cultivators who released their flying magic artifacts headed away from the swamp, fearing that they would be swept away. With such power, even hollow spirit state cultivators would be dead for sure if swept down. The swamp spirit beasts also charged out to escape. The spirit beasts and cultivators couldn't care about each other as they focused on running. 3 days later, the swamp had completely disappeared. The boundless swamp just disappeared on its own. No one knew where all that mud went. A huge valley formed where the swamp had once stood. There were no spirit herbs here and very little spirit chi. 2 days later, Yemo just stayed in his golden page world without throwing out more surveillance formation discs. He was sure that no matter how big the explosion, it wouldn't affect his golden page world. So, he started consolidating his hollow spirit state power. Next to the Herb King's spirit range and bitter bamboo, his power was quickly consolidated. Yemo found that after he became hollow spirit state, he devoured spirit chi with even more terrifying force, especially when he used the 3-birth chant. Yemo was surprised. Other people used spirit stones or a spirit gathering formation to cultivate, but his cultivation would only be somewhat effective if he used the Herb King's spirit range. Otherwise, if he used only spirit stones, he would never progress. It seemed he had to keep collecting spirit ranges from now on since this Herb King's spirit range wasn't enough for him. If he really used it, he might use it up within 3 to 5 years. Yemo sunk his mind into cultivation and time passed rapidly. When Yemo completely consolidated his power and reached hollow spirit state level 1 middle stage, another 2 months had passed. Yemo threw out a surveillance formation disc and sighed. Time flew by way too quickly in cultivation. What was shown to him was a water veil. The golden page world was at the bottom of the swamp. How was it in water now? What was shown to him was a water veil. The golden page world was at the bottom of the swamp. How was it in water now? Yemo didn't know what happened outside and came out of the golden page world. Immediately, a terrifying pressure hit him. Even with his hollow spirit state level 1 power, he almost couldn't breathe. Without question, this place was very deep and the pressure was too great. At the same time, he didn't understand even if his lightning storage formation exploded, he couldn't go from the bottom of the swamp to the bottom of a river. Yemo just knew that he had to get out as quickly as possible and go to Pill City. Then, he would ask Lu Wuhu why he helped him. If Lu Wuhu really needed him to help with something, he would try to lower the price and make Lu Wuhu be a bodyguard to get Susu and Beiwei from the Black Ice sect. Yemo started to speed up, charging towards the surface of the water. The floating force and his speed added together still took him 3 hours before he reached the surface. One could see how deep down he was. After charging out of the water's surface, Yemo gasped and breathed air in big mouthfuls. He had spent more than 3 years including the time formation disk acceleration time underground. He didn't know how long it had been outside. Yemo gasped and then began to look around. Where he came up from was a long river. The river was only tens of kilometers wide, yet his spirit sense couldn't even scan the length of the river. This was the first time Yemo had seen a river this deep. There were many places in the Heartless Sea that weren't even as deep as this. Emo flew to the side of the river and used a few clearing water spells and changed a set of clothes before releasing his spirit sense. He wanted to see if there were people nearby so he could ask them how far he was from the Pill City, and how long he had been gone for. As soon as Emo reached out with his spirit sense, he saw 3 beams. There was a cultivator at the front fleeing on his flying sword while 2 cultivators chased behind him. The running cultivator was Nascent Soul State Level 4 while the 2 behind him were Nascent Soul State Level 5 and Level 9. Qianbei. The running cultivator couldn't tell Yemo's power, so he could only call Qianbei. Yemo saw that this cultivator was covered in blood and heavily injured. Before Yemo said anything, the 2 Nascent Soul State cultivators came and saw that Yemo didn't do anything. The Nascent Soul State Level 9 saluted with his fists and said, "Friend, hello? Infinity Sex Chenbang thanks you for stopping this person for us." Yemo was thinking, who was this cocky? He was a hollow spirit state cultivator, and yet a nascent soul state cultivator talked to him without calling him Qianbei. So it was an Infinity Sex sect member. If it was some other hollow spirit state cultivator, he might just laugh and turn away. But Yemo was not some other hollow spirit state cultivator. Even if he didn't have conflict with Infinity Sect, who did this nascent soul state cultivator think he was, helping him stop this guy? Yemo ignored the nascent soul state level 9 and asked the nascent soul state level 4. "What's your name and why are you being hunted?" The nascent soul state level 4 was planning to self-destruct after Yemo left. Even if he couldn't kill the 2, he would at least injure them. However, Yemo asked who he was instead, so he saluted with his fists. "Qianbei, I'm a sect member of Sword Valley, Gan Liang. Because the animals of Infinity Sect annihilated our Sword Valley and want to kill all of our sect members." Yemo nodded. In the law of the jungle cultivation realm, this was very normal. But as a 9-star sect, the Infinity Sect was too domineering, annihilating whomever they liked. "What, you said Sword Valley?" Yemo's face immediately changed. After meeting Ningqingxue, he learned about Sword Valley. It was the sect Luo Fei and Yunzi were at. They were recommended to go there by Luo Susu's master. What right did Infinity Sect have to annihilate Sword Valley? Yemo's fury rose. Yunzi was alright, but Luo Fei belonged to Luo Yu City. She had been helping run Luo Yu Pharmaceuticals. Seeing that Yemo ignored him and instead began talking to the cultivator they were chasing as though he was going to help him, Chen Bang's face immediately sunk. He could tell that Yemo was only Hollow Spirit State primary stage. A Hollow Spirit State level 1 cultivator had no right to give him attitude. "Friend, this is between the Infinity Sect and Sword Valley. Please step aside, I need to take him away," Chen Bang said unhappily. Although he was a nascent soul state cultivator, if he used the name of Infinity Sect, even ordinary body condensation state didn't dare to be rude. What right did Yemo, this mere hollow spirit state level 1, have to mind other people's business? Plus there were Infinity Sect hollow spirit state cultivators nearby. "I want to mind this business, what are you going to do?" Yemo's face sunk. This nascent soul state cultivator really thought he was something. The nascent soul state level 5 cultivator heard this and said nothing. He took out a communication bead and looked at Chenbang. Chenbang didn't expect there to be a hollow spirit state cultivator who disregarded the Infinity Sect. He didn't dare to let that nascent soul state level 5 send a message because he knew that in this time, it would be enough to kill them many times. Even if their sect got them revenge, they would be dead. The reason he didn't care much about Yemo was because the name Infinity Sect was too good to use. Gan Liang's eyes spewed fury as he glared at the 2. "Infinity Sect's truth realization state, old man Healingy acted like he was on top of everything and came to Sword Valley. He wanted our 2 female cultivator members Luo Fei and Yunzi. Our sect leader rejected without asking any reason, but the old bastard he injured our sect leader and killed many of our elders." Yemo's eyes were about to spew out frost. He'd be an idiot to not know by now that the Sword Valley was annihilated due to him. Gan Liang continued. "Our sect leader said, our heads can be cut and our blood can flow but our sword she will never break. You want the Sword Valley to succumb? Piss off! Even if we're down to the last person, there will be one to get revenge from the Infinity Sect. Very well. Emo spat coldly. He gave a pill to Gan Liang. You can kill that nascent soul state level 5 trash. I will kill this Chenbang trash. Gan Liang took the pill dazedly. He was prepared to die, but this Qianbei was actually willing to help him. This was forming a death conflict with the Infinity Sect. You dare act against our Infinity Sect? Chenbang's eyes were wide open in shock. He didn't dare to believe this hollow spirit state level 1 was this crazy. The nascent soul state level 5 heard this, and his face also changed. Without hesitation, he wanted to send a message, but a purple light flashed and the hand holding the communication bead was sliced off. Gan Liang laughed. Qianbei, you underestimate me. Even if Qianbei didn't cut one of his hands, I can kill a scum like him easily. Emo ignored Gan Liang and stared at Chenbang coldly. I even dared to kill Yuan Guanan, much less an insect like you. What? You killed Martial Brother Yuan. But Yemo's purple sword rays already swept over. He wanted to use his magic artifact to block it, but he found he was stuck. It was very hard to even move. After the purple sword rays swept over, blood flew across the sky. Yemo took the storage ring and just watched Gan Liang fight the nascent soul state level 5. The reason he said he killed Yuan Guanan without hesitation was because he knew that the Infinity Sect knew this for sure. Otherwise, they wouldn't go to Sword Valley for Luo Fei and Yunzi. Gan Liang's magic artifact was just a flying sword, but Yemo felt his flying sword was like a long sword. As soon as he released it, it brought about waves of sword mist that made Gan Liang himself even look like a sword. Gan Liang's magic artifact was just a flying sword, but Yemo felt his flying sword was like a long sword. As soon as he released it, it brought about waves of sword mist that made Gan Liang himself even look like a sword. That Infinity Sect nascent soul state level 5 cultivator already had one arm cut off by Yemo. He didn't get time to reattach it before Gan Liang's flying sword swept over. Yemo didn't move, he just watched Gan Liang's sword waves roll towards that Infinity Sect nascent soul state cultivator. From the outside, one could only see the white rays of sword light clashing with magic artifact, but Yemo could clearly sense the sword ability and moves that Gan Liang used. Gan Liang just hacked out one sword, but this sword was like a wave that was followed by more waves behind it. The first wave was just a few strikes, but before that wave was crippled, the second wave came and there were more than 10 strikes. Yemo nodded. Sword Valley indeed deserved its name. One could tell how extraordinary it was just by looking at Gan Liang's sword technique. But Gan Liang's killing intent was intense. The nascent soul state level 5 cultivator was injured at the third sword wave again. He was trying to use that as the price to get away, but at this moment, Gan Liang's sword wave suddenly exploded. Blood mist rose and that nascent soul state level 5 cultivator was hacked open just when he wanted to use an escape technique. If he didn't just think about running away, even if Gan Liang killed him, Gan Liang would be heavily injured. After killing that nascent soul state level 5, Gan Liang immediately walked up to Yemo and bowed. Thank you for helping Qianbei. There was a look of respect on Gan Liang's face. Yemo waved his hand and said, How are Luo Fei and Yunzi? Gan Liang's face showed sadness. That Infinity Sect truth realization state old fart killed all of our body condensation state elders before leaving. But that was just the beginning of the slaughter. After he left, tens of cultivators below body condensation state from the Infinity Sect came. Our blood flowed like rivers. Martial Sister Luo Fei and Yunzi are gone, they're probably not in a good state. Suddenly, Gan Liang stopped and asked Yemo, Qianbei knows Martial Sisters Luo Fei and Yunzi? Yemo nodded. Yes, I'm Yemo, the number 1 of the Pill City Pill King tournament. Pill Kingy? Gan Liang was dazed and murmured. So that's it. You know? Yemo asked heavily. Gan Liang nodded. Yes, Pill King Yi Qianbei, 7 months ago, you got first in the tournament. Our sect got news of it soon. Martial Sister Luo Fei and Yunzi told the sect leader that they knew Pill King Yi. The sect leader was very happy and was planning to take the two martial sisters to visit Pil King Yi. At this moment, Infinity Sect's truth realization state healing came to our sect and requested to take away martial sisters Luo Fei and Yun Zi. Our sect leader rejected without hesitation. In his fury and embarrassment, he heavily injured our sect leader. The elders fought with him. Although our elders aren't scared of death, that healing is already truth realization state. None of our elders lived. Yemo clenched his fists tightly. The Infinity Sect's people were too cocky. Just because they had great power, they did whatever they wanted. He didn't expect he had been in the Zhou River swamp for more than 7 months. Our sect leader guessed that the Infinity Sect came for the two martial sisters because of Qian Bei. When I heard Qian Bei say that you killed Yuan Guanan, I realized now. The Infinity Sect is so shameless. Gan Liang's fists were bleeding. Sorry. Yemo was dejected. Clearly, the Sword Valley was destroyed because of him, but Yemo didn't understand. Even if the Infinity Sect wanted to harm him, it didn't explain why they wanted to take Luo Fei and Yun Zi as well as annihilate Sword Valley. There must be some other reason. He had to go Sword Valley no matter what. Gan Liang's eyes were red. Our sect leader and our Sword Valley's people need to have sword chi and bones. Although this started due to Qian Bei, the Infinity Sect would still annihilate us if we offended them for something else. So, if our sect wants to survive, we need to get stronger and stronger. Yemo said heavily. Great, Brother Gan Liang, as long as you have this mentality. One day I will let you become the strongest swordsman. Then Yemo asked, Is your sect leader still alive? Gan Liang shook his head. I don't know. When our sect leader was heavily injured, he told us to run away in separate directions. As long as one of us is alive, we must get revenge. When I left, the sect leader escaped under the protection of 2 hollow spirit state martial uncles. I don't know how he is now. Okay, let's go to the Sword Valley now. Yemo released Zi Su and flew towards the Sword Valley, taking Gan Liang with him. Sword Valley had always been a top-grade sect in the South Peace State. It used to be the number 1 or 2 rank sect in the 9-star sects, but 5,000 years ago, an internal conflict occurred. In this conflict, the Sword Valley was divided into 2 sections. Eventually, the 2 sects started fighting and countless masters died. After that battle, no one could afford to fight anymore. One sect left the Sword Valley and went missing. The other sect also lost too much battle power, and since then, Sword Valley had fallen. Even though the Sword Valley was counted as a 7-star sect, it was only due to their past glory. In fact, the strongest elder right now was only body condensation state peak stage. Even if a disaster transformation state cultivator came, he would be able to slaughter the entire Sword Valley. The current Sword Valley was dead silent. There was blood, bodies, and burnt structures everywhere. Even Yemo was furious seeing this. A few sword lights flashed, and a figure stumbled over. Martial Uncle Wang. Gan Liang saw this and immediately charged up, wanting to help him. That figure saw Gan Liang and spat a mouthful of blood. He just said, "Go to Tail Cliff," and died. Die! Before Gan Liang could react, another sword light came that was about to cut Gan Liang in half from the waist, but it was blocked by a purple ray. This was a hollow spirit state level 4 cultivator from Infinity Sect. With a clank, the purple ray scattered and that hollow spirit state cultivator was hacked at and sent flying, stopping more than 10 meters away. He looked at Yemo with shock. He was shocked because Yemo was only a hollow spirit state level 1 cultivator who had just reached hollow spirit state. He stayed here to see if there were any resources hidden, but he found a heavily injured hollow spirit state primary stage cultivator here. He had just killed him and met Yemo and Gan Liang. Yemo put down the dead cultivator and released his long sword. Yemo waved his hand. "No need for you to attack. I can easily kill trash like him." Yemo wasn't bluffing. It was just one clash, but he knew that his cultivation essence and spirit sense were both stronger than this cultivator. Gan Liang nodded. He didn't know what power level Yemo was at, but he couldn't do anything in a hollow spirit state level battle. That hollow spirit state cultivator was infuriated when he heard Emo call him trash. He released an 8-trigram mirror. Emo looked at the ancient chi emitting from it, and knew it was an ancient artifact that was on par with a low-grade cultivation artifact. Before the cultivator could activate the mirror, Emo hacked over multiple purple sword rays with Zisu using illusion cloud essence binding strike. He wanted to know how long he could bind that cultivator with his current power level. Although the hollow spirit state didn't use his full power the first strike and could be said to be ambushed by Emo, he still felt threatened. Although the hollow spirit state didn't use his full power the first strike and could be said to be ambushed by Emo, he still felt threatened. So as soon as Emo used his first strike, he raised his cultivation essence. Indeed, he felt his cultivation essence slow down as though being bound. The hollow spirit state middle stage immediately knew things weren't good. He forcefully released the 8-trigram mirror and broke free from cultivation essence bind using his full might. As soon as the mirror was released, it expanded in the air and completely covered Emo. Before Emo could use more illusion cloud strikes, he felt his sea of consciousness hurt. Emo immediately realized that this was a spirit sense attack magic artifact. Spirit sense attack magic artifacts were much more powerful than ordinary magic artifacts. If Emo didn't have a spirit sense cultivation method, even if his cultivation essence was stronger than it was now, he would suffer greatly to that mirror. Different than cultivator's own spirit sense attacks, the mirror didn't need to waste the cultivator's spirit sense. Even if the attack failed, it wouldn't affect the cultivator's spirit sense much. Emo's pain was only for an instant. That hollow spirit state cultivator broke free from the essence binding strike and sneered. Emo wasn't able to use another move after that strike, meaning that his 8-trigram mirror had succeeded. He didn't wait for Emo to attack again and released his flying sword, wanting to kill Emo with this strike. Emo sneered. He used his purple eye soul sever when he knew this was a spirit sense attack magic artifact. These were level 3 purple eye soul sever spirit sense blades. It has always been him who attacked others with spirit sense, but today his sea of consciousness was attacked by someone else. That hollow spirit state didn't need to use his spirit sense to attack Emo, but he had to use his spirit sense to control his 8-trigram mirror to attack Emo. Emo's spirit sense sword sliced over and was much stronger than his 8-trigram mirror. He just felt his sea of consciousness in huge pain. His 8-trigram mirror fell down uncontrollably. Emo's Zisu had sliced out with illusion cloud division strike, and then Emo used his whirlpool strike right afterwards. That hollow spirit state cultivator just broke free from Emo's spirit sense sword. His sea of consciousness was still in shambles when he saw countless purple sword rays sweep across. Soon, he found that the purple sword rays multiplied rapidly. What sword technique was this? The hollow spirit state cultivator quickly took back his 8-trigram mirror, and it formed countless mirror shadows that tried to block the sword rays. The sword rays clashed with the mirror and made heavy thuds. The hollow spirit state's sea of consciousness was already injured, and Emo's purple sword rays seemed endless. He just blocked the first wave of attacks and spat out a mouthful of blood. He immediately wanted to take out a pill and eat it. But before he could, Emo's whirlpool strike with division strike came. If his sea of consciousness wasn't injured, he could still use the 8-trigram mirror to block the whirlpool strikes, but now, he was already struggling to control the 8-trigram mirror, much less block the endless flying whirlpool strikes. Such an absurd hollow spirit state level 1 cultivator. This hollow spirit state level 4 cultivator was shocked. He had begun to want to run away. He was sure he was no match for Emo. Even if he was hollow spirit state level 5 or level 6, he wouldn't be much stronger than this hollow spirit state level 1 cultivator. Although Emo had absolute dominance, he was unsatisfied. He felt that despite his illusion cloud strikes having 5 strikes and each strike having unique attributes, he didn't have a move that could settle the score. Thus, it would always end up in a stalemate with his enemies. Although he didn't show his full power yet, he still wasn't happy. He needed an overwhelming strike that would scare the enemy shitless, but the illusion cloud couldn't do that right now. Just when this hollow spirit state cultivator wanted to escape, Emo felt his force drop. Without hesitation, Emo slashed out with Zisu. This time he held Zisu in his hands. He was just thinking about how to hack out a domineering strike, but after slicing the sword, he had some enlightenment. The next moment, he didn't even look at the hollow spirit state cultivator. He didn't care if he hit or missed him. He just closed his eyes and focused on hacking out with his full strength. Gong Liang saw that Emo had the upper hand and wanted to check on his dead martial uncle, but Emo's illusion cloud caught his eyes. He was very proud of his own wave sword technique, but after seeing Emo's illusion cloud strikes, he felt he was just a beginner. Suddenly, he saw Yi Missouri close his eyes and strike casually, but what bemused him was that the hollow spirit state cultivator actually paused for a moment. Then Yemo's purple sword brought purple sword rays that completely covered him. What sword technique was this? Gong Liang stared dazedly at the purple kitchen knife Yemo held. He felt this strike was many times more powerful than all of Yemo's previous strikes combined. It gave him a feeling of unrelenting pursuit and invincibility. At the same time, he wanted to grasp that feeling, but he couldn't. Crack then, there was the sound of flesh flying. The Infinity Sect's hollow spirit state cultivator and his 8 trigram mirror were sliced in half by Yemo. His essence spirit was also destroyed. Yemo closed his eyes and opened after a long while. There was joy in his eyes. He actually had sudden enlightenment, and in that last strike, he mixed all the previous strikes together. This strike used up cultivation essence drastically, but it had this overwhelming force as though it would destroy everything in its path. Even if someone was a higher cultivation level than him, as long as his spirit sense and cultivation essence could keep up, this strike was unbeatable. Hua Mountain has one road, I just slice once. Yemo clutched Zisu and knew that his illusion cloud strikes were finally half completed now. This would be Illusion Cloud 6th strike, Illusion Cloud Hua Mountain strike. Yemo then took the hollow spirit state cultivator's storage ring and saw Gong Liang looking at him with admiration. He then asked, "What did your martial uncle say?" Gong Liang reacted and quickly said, "He told us to go to Tail Cliff. I think those in my sect who survived are there. Okay, let's go there now. Pack away your martial uncle's things and bury him." Yemo nodded. At this moment on an extreme-grade flying ship, 4 cultivators surrounded a heavily injured middle-aged man on a mattress in melancholy. The middle-aged man smiled. "Our Sword Valley has experienced countless disasters over the years, but we still stood until today. As long as one sect member lives on, we can strike back again. So what if it's the 9-star sect Infinity Sect? It will be our Sword Valley sect member who annihilates them." The middle-aged man looked at the 4 cultivators and said, "My essence blood is destroyed now, there's nothing I can do. I hope that as long as any of you survive, you will not forget revenge. Our Sword Valley cultivators need to have sword chi and sword bones. We're not people who are scared of death. What happened to us today will be the consequence of the Infinity Sect." "Yes, sect leader," the 4 said without hesitation. The middle-aged man's eyes flashed with some sadness. "I owe the Sword Valley, I didn't bring it to prosperity." But then, he looked at a young female sect member. "Luo Fei, you know Pil King Yi. We went to Tail Cliff not to escape to the Heartless Sea, but to go to Pil City. Luo Fei, now I will order you to be the next sect leader. Take them from Tail Cliff to South Peace City and then take the teleportation formation to Pil City and ask Pil King Yi for protection. I haven't seen Pil King Yi, but since he dares to kill Tian Alfeng, he must be a hero. He won't reject this." "Huh?" Luo Fei immediately dazed. She didn't expect the sect leader to pass the position to her. She was only a Foundation Establishment State Level 9 cultivator. She wasn't even Golden Core State. The middle-aged man sighed. "Luo Fei, don't feel guilty. The Infinity Sect attacked us not completely due to you and Yunzi. It's because that old man wants a sword cultivation method from us. It's called One Strike, it's a supreme sword cultivation method." The middle-aged man sneered. But he made the wrong move. That sword cultivation method was lost 1,000 years ago. Otherwise, how could our sword valley fall to this extent? We're not even a 7-star sect. The middle-aged man sneered. But he made the wrong move. That sword cultivation method was lost 1,000 years ago. Otherwise, how could our sword valley fall to this extent? We're not even a 7-star sect. Luo Fei, if you pass the position of sect leader to another sect member in the future, remember that finding this lost sword cultivation method is the responsibility of all sect members. Yes, sect leader, Luo Fei will remember your words. Luo Fei knew of the sect leader's struggles. After she became sect leader, she wasn't going to cast aside Sword Valley for sure. He wanted her to seek protection from Emo and in turn let the Sword Valley survive. Even if the sect leader didn't say anything, she wasn't going to cast aside the Sword Valley. Their annihilation was due to her. How could she just leave them? She had decided that even if she was to die, she was going to bring prosperity to the Sword Valley and get them revenge. The middle-aged man clearly knew what Luo Fei was thinking and a sliver of approval flashed across his eyes. Then, he closed his eyes. When the sect members looked at him again, they found that their sect leader had passed away. Just when Luo Fei wanted to say something, the oldest man from the Sword Valley said, "Sect leader, there's a flying ship behind chasing up here. It's probably the Infinity Sect." Luo Fei's face changed. They were facing a big enemy, but she realized that the highest level power in their group was only a hollow spirit state primary stage. Who was the old man? There was a martial sister younger than her who was Golden Core State Level 3. The other martial brother was only Golden Core State Level 6. Martial Uncle Jie, let's free the flying ship's restrictions first and think of another idea, Luo Fei said worriedly. 15 minutes later, Emo had left Sword Valley thousands of kilometers behind. The direction they were heading to was the Tail Cliff. Emo had never been to the Tail Cliff, but Gan Liang knew. The Tail Cliff was like Emo High City. It was near the Heartless Sea but was on the east side of South Peace State. Tail Cliff was a place where solo cultivators gathered, so it was easier to escape there. Even if the Infinity Sect's people hunted them to there, they could escape into the Heartless Sea. The Heartless Sea was dangerous but much better than getting annihilated. Of course that was Gan Liang's idea, but Emo didn't feel things were so. They could escape into the Heartless Sea from Tail Cliff, but if they went into the deep sea of the Heartless Sea, they would almost certainly be dead. Emo went on Zisu, and even though he took Gan Liang with him, he was extremely fast. Half a day later, volatile cultivation essence waves appeared before them. Emo saw that 2 ships were stopped ahead and they seemed to be fighting. One ship seemed to be attacking the other's shield was trying its best to defend with the formation restrictions. There was actually only one hollow spirit state cultivator attacking and the other 2 cultivators were watching on the side. Emo knew that it was only a matter of time before the restriction was broken, and this was just with one person attacking. If those people attacked together, then the flying ship restriction would have already been broken. "It's our ship, the bastards from Infinity Sect are attacking!" Gan Liang immediately yelled. Emo scanned the flying ship with his spirit sense, and indeed found the Sword Valley logo on one of them, but nothing on the other ship. He wondered how Gan Liang recognized it. "Come down first, just stand guard for me," Emo said. Emo could tell that the 3 cultivators on the attacking ship were all hollow spirit state cultivators. There was one hollow spirit state tertiary stage. Emo knew that regardless of whether there were more cultivators inside, just these 3 would be quite enough for him to handle. If they joined together, he might not be a match. If a body condensation state cultivator came out of the ship, it would be hard for him to even get away. When Emo came up, the hollow spirit state cultivators also saw him. But Emo didn't do anything, so neither did they. This was because Emo was only hollow spirit state level 1. A mere hollow spirit state level 1 cultivator was clearly not enough to play tricks in front of them. Emo didn't say anything, he just went up and started throwing down formation flags. Theoretically, if there was a body condensation state cultivator inside the attacking ship, he should have felt that power, but he didn't feel anything. "What are you doing?" the hollow spirit state level 3 cultivator asked in anger. Yemo laid down formation flags as he spoke. I want to kill you! You're asking to die! The cultivator spat and released his magic artifact. Yemo was a mere hollow spirit state level 1 cultivator facing against them, 3 hollow spirit state cultivators. Before they attacked, Yemo hacked out with Zisu. Illusion Cloud Hua Mountain Strike! With this, purple shadows appeared all over the sky, the space seemed to condense. The hollow spirit state cultivator who was about to attack Yemo felt his cultivation essence pause. Before he could react, those heaven-covering purple sword rays swept over. He was shocked to find that after the purple sword rays, there was whirlpool sword chi. This sword chi seemed to have a will of its own and sealed off all his exits. In that brief moment of time, he felt that it was just one strike and just one long sword ray. This sword ray had an indomitable temperament, as though it would be relentless until it did what it wanted to do. This wasn't it. There seemed to be countless sparkles attached to the purple sword ray that could fly out at any moment. When that purple sword ray arrived before him, the hollow spirit state just realized that he had no way to block it, nor did he have the time to release his magic artifact. Splurge flesh and blood flew. This hollow spirit state level 3 didn't even get to release his magic artifact, and was killed by Yemo's one strike. I overestimated you. Yemo sneered and threw out more formation flags. This was the first time Yemo used Illusion Cloud Hua Mountain Strike, other than that moment of enlightenment when he created this move. Still, he actually killed this hollow spirit state level 3 in one strike. From this, it was obvious that Illusion Cloud Hua Mountain Strike was his strongest strike. However, he felt this was not worth it to be used on a cultivator about the same cultivation level as him. The other 2 hollow spirit state cultivators looked in surprise at Yemo. Now they were certain that Yemo wasn't hollow spirit state level 1 power. They would never believe that a hollow spirit state level 1 could kill a hollow spirit state level 3 with one strike so fast that they didn't have time to intervene. At the same time, the Sword Valley cultivators knew that even with just one of the enemies attacking their restriction, they wouldn't last long. The reason there was only one attacking was just to play around with them. Indeed, moments later, their restriction was broken, but what they didn't expect was that after their restriction was broken, the enemies didn't come in. The only hollow spirit state cultivator in Sword Valley had an extremely strange look on his face, as though he had seen something unfathomable. What's wrong, Martial Uncle Jia? Luo Fei asked. Martial Uncle Jia said, There's one hollow spirit state level 1 cultivator who was fighting a hollow spirit state level 3 from Infinity Sect, but he killed that hollow spirit state level 3 in one strike. Huh? Luo Fei was shook. She didn't know who would dare to fight with Infinity Sect and kill their hollow spirit state cultivator. But she immediately knew what this meant to them and said, Martial Uncle Jia, let's quickly go out and see. At this moment the 2 hollow spirit states reacted, and that hollow spirit state tertiary stage yelled, Who are you? How dare you kill our Infinity Sect member? Yemo's spirit sense wasn't able to scan inside, but even until now, no one came out. This made him feel safer. If there were just these 2 hollow spirit state cultivators, he really wasn't afraid. Yemo's spirit sense wasn't able to scan inside, but even until now, no one came out. This made him feel safer. If there were just these 2 hollow spirit state cultivators, he really wasn't afraid. Yemo pulled down his face mask magic artifact and said coldly, MOU Cities Yemo, out here for the specific purpose of killing Infinity Sect trash. Then, before they could reply, Zisu hacked out again. At the same time, he secretly let out Shadowless. There was one hollow spirit state level 4 and one hollow spirit state level 7. Ever since Shadowless evolved to pure gold, he had never used him in battle. It's you! The hollow spirit state tertiary stage cultivator's eyes went red. He said no more and released an oval-shaped magic artifact. As a hollow spirit state cultivator, he knew some of the high-level things in the sect. Yuan Guanan was killed by this guy, and now that this guy was in front of him, how could he show mercy? This was the first time that Yemo saw a magic artifact like this. It was like a toilet. 2 different colored rays shot out from the 2 sides, one black and one red. Yemo's sword ray was swept by the 2 colors and dimmed down. Even Zisu almost flew out of his hand. Yemo was shook and hacked out a spirit sense sword. He took Zisu back but wasn't able to keep using illusion Cloud Hua Mountain Strike. The hollow spirit state tertiary stage saw that his magic artifact didn't sweep away Yemo's purple kitchen knife and was a little surprised, but then he sneered. To be able to clutch your shitty kitchen knife so tightly under my dual-color primordial bag, you have some capabilities. But I will let you no regret for daring to kill our Infinity Sect member. Yemo didn't wait for this hollow spirit state tertiary stage to keep attacking and hacked out 13 strikes. The heavenly covering purple sword rays instantly surrounded the hollow spirit state level 7, but he sneered in contempt. Little trick! However, Yemo's target wasn't him but the hollow spirit state level 4. He knew that even if he could kill the hollow spirit state level 7, it wouldn't be quick, so he had to kill that hollow spirit state level 4 first. So, Yemo used Illusion Cloud Division Strike. Exert will strike and formation kill strike to trap the hollow spirit state level 7 while he attacked the hollow spirit state level 4. The hollow spirit state level 4 released his magic artifact. It was also a sword but seemed much more aesthetically pleasing than Yemo's kitchen knife. He was scared of Yemo's strike that he had used to kill the hollow spirit state level 3. Yemo's illusion Cloud Hua Mountain Strike already hacked over. He didn't see clearly this strike but he knew the power of it very clearly. It was a strike that was unrelenting. He didn't have the dual-colored primordial bag so he released his sword and a black square shield before Zisu came to him. The strike gave him too much shock and he didn't expect Yemo to be ambushing him while fighting his martial brother. The longsword was released and drew out a 10-meter-long white ray as though trying to cut Zisu and Yemo in half. Yemo knew this wasn't a sword technique but magic arts. However, Yemo didn't stop at all. He hacked out Illusion Cloud Hua Mountain Strike and clashed with the long sword. An ear-screeching sound came and purple rays splashed everywhere. The white ray disappeared but Zisu was stopped. Yemo grunted and didn't take back Zisu, he hacked again. In his desperation, that cultivator used his black square shield. With a thud, Zisu hacked into the shield and that cultivator spat out a mouthful of blood. The dark color on the shield faded and before Yemo's third strike came, he used a rune. As soon as the rune was thrown out, it exploded, discharging a lightning arc the size of a baby's arm towards Yemo. Yemo sneered and ignored the lightning arc. If it was some other rune he might consider dodging, but for a lightning arc like that, he wouldn't even frown if there were 7 or 8. Even the smallest lightning arc in his divine damnation was stronger than this. This lightning arc was enough to even damage hollow spirit state tertiary stage cultivators, but it was useless against him. Seeing that Yemo ignored his rune and kept attacking, the hollow spirit state level 4 cultivator's mouth was wide open in shock. He didn't understand why Yemo wanted to suicide. Even if he killed him, would he be able to deal with this rune? At this instant, Yemo felt some danger but Yemo had no intentions of taking back his strike. He knew that the danger was coming not from the rune but the hollow spirit state level 7 cultivator. He immediately released his octagonal cauldron. Even if he got injured, he would kill one first. Zisu hacked onto the hollow spirit state level 4, and the hollow spirit state cultivator fell helplessly from the sky in a splash of blood. Yemo also instantly spat a few mouthfuls of blood. The octagonal cauldron made a huge buzzing sound. He knew this was the hollow spirit state level 7 ambushing him. Yemo ate a pill and looked coldly at the furious hollow spirit state level 7. He was by himself now. Although Yemo only set up a level 4 formation in a rush, he knew that it might actually be the key to turn the tides for him. "It's City Lord Yi!" Luo Fei saw Yemo and her eyes went red. "Martial Brother Guan, you're fine?" "Great." The 2 Golden Core State disciples immediately rejoiced. Gan Liang greets Martial Uncle Jie, Martial Brother Miao, and Martial Sister. "Is the sect leader all right?" Gan Liang bowed to the old man and asked. Gan Liang thought GMO was at least Hollow Spirit State peak stage to be able to kill that Hollow Spirit State level 3, so he wasn't worried. Martial brother gone, sect leader he's gone. The current sect leader is Martial Sister Fei. Sect leader told us to listen to her, the youngest female disciple said dejectedly. Gan Liang's eyes turned red. He had entered Sword Valley at a young age. His character and sword were both taught by the sect leader. Martial brother gone, don't feel too bad. We need to bring Sword Valley into prosperity. What we need to do now is not make the sect leader disappointed. Luo Fei quickly comforted. Gan Liang immediately bowed. You're the sect leader now, you must not call me martial brother. Luo Fei nodded. Okay, just call me sect leader martial sister, sect leader is too distant. Martial brother gone, did that powerful Qian Bei come with you? Who is he? The youngest female disciple asked. Gan Liang said respectfully. Sect leader martial sister knows this Qian Bei, he's the level 7 Pill King from Pill City, the number 1 in the Pill King tournament, Yi Qian Bei. After knowing that the Infinity Sect attacked us, he came with me. It's really Pill King Qian Bei. The other Golden Core State level 6 youth also said in shock. Yemo didn't seem much older than them but was already a Pill King and could instantly kill 2 Hollow Spirit State primary stage cultivators. So strong! The Hollow Spirit State Elder exclaimed. He could tell that Yemo was only Hollow Spirit State level 1, yet he not only killed a Hollow Spirit State level 3 and 4 instantly but was fighting head-on with a Hollow Spirit State level 7. At this moment, the Hollow Spirit State level 7 released the dual-color primordial bag again and the black and red rays fused together, charging at Yemo. At the same time the Hollow Spirit State also charged at Yemo. He didn't use any magic artifact, and just struck with his fist. It was just an ordinary punch, but Yemo felt the air flow around him grow chaotic. Instantly, that fist formed an almost 2-meter-long hammer. This wasn't just a fist or even an arm, this was a magic artifact, one that was on par with extreme-grade spirit artifacts. Yemo was shocked that a Hollow Spirit State cultivator could cultivate his own fist to such a terrifying extent. This wasn't just a fist or even an arm, this was a magic artifact, one that was on par with extreme-grade spirit artifacts. Yemo was shocked that a Hollow Spirit State cultivator could cultivate his own fist to such a terrifying extent. Although Yemo knew that he could stop this fist with his octagonal cauldron, he only controlled 3 layers of restrictions. Judging by the power of this fist, the concussion was enough to make him heavily injured again. In that instant, Yemo didn't think about how to stop this fist. Instead of thought of the Wu God chant. The Wu God chant was a body cultivation method. He robbed it from Pang Wei and gave it to Kai Ji. Then, he never thought about this body cultivation method again. He thought that if he cultivated the Wu God chant and his body was powerful too, would he be able to make a punch like that? However, Yemo knew that was impractical. He wanted to call back Zi Su and block the fist with it, but in that instant, his connection with Zi Su was lost. Before Yemo could think, that huge fist was before him. Yemo could only let the octagonal cauldron block it, but he was sent flying. Yemo spat blood while in the air and calmed down. He knew that this cultivator's power was on par with his. He just wanted to call back Zi Su now. However, Zi Su was being bound by the 2 rays that completely blocked off Yemo's spirit sense. The Hollow Spirit State cultivator seemed to know that Yemo wasn't able to call back Zi Su and separated 2 more rays from the bag while punching again. Before the 2 rays neared Yemo, they were severed by Yemo's spirit sense sword, but even so Yemo felt his sea of consciousness shake. He felt threatened by the black and red rays. This time, Yemo didn't wait for him to punch out and used tens of spirit sense swords. This was the first time he used so many spirit sense strikes at once. His face immediately went pale. The red and black rays were dissipated by Yemo's spirit sense strike. Yemo waved his hand and Zisu flew back into his hands. The cultivator was shocked to see this, and before he could react, he felt pain in his sea of consciousness. He was certain now that Yemo had a spirit sense cultivation method, and an offensive one too. Before the cultivator could use the bag again, he hacked out with Zissou. The cultivator didn't waste time and punched while using the primordial bag. Zissou and the fist clashed together. However, the power of the strike wasn't fully activated. With a crack, something seemed to have been broken, and that hollow spirit state cultivator spat blood like crazy, flying back with a bloody fist. Even though the illusion Cloud Hua Mountain strike wasn't fully activated, it couldn't be blocked by a fist, even if the fist was on the level of an extreme-grade spirit artifact. Yemo sneered and threw out a few formation flags. Rumble 6 black lightning bolts were released. Although there were just 6 in the first wave, there seemed to be countless afterwards. Before the first wave even struck, the second wave arrived. The lightning arcs weren't ordinary ones, they were like tiny lightning swords that would cause injury immediately. The hollow spirit state didn't expect Yemo had lightning-style attacks and was immediately struck by a few lightning arcs. "You're a lightning element cultivator. This is Lightning Cloud Sex 11 lightning swords," the hollow spirit state said in shock. Yemo wasn't going to reply to this. He felt concerned about that bag and felt that this cultivator didn't even use its full power. If he did, Yemo would suffer greatly. So while the opponent was busy, Yemo used a spirit sense strike again to try to sever his control of the bag. But no matter what, the bag was still under his control. Yemo used spirit sense strikes repetitively, and his sea of consciousness grew very tired. Seeing that it didn't work, he stopped using spirit sense strikes and hacked out with Zissou again. The lightning sword was powerful, but it was impractical to think of killing the opponent with it. The hollow spirit state tertiary stage was very shocked. Yemo was a pill king and had so many offensive means, with each one being extremely powerful. If things went on like this, he wouldn't be able to gain the upper hand at all. His fist was still injured. He knew how powerful his fist was. It was an extreme-grade spirit artifact. With his powerful cultivation essence, even if a body condensation state cultivator was struck by his full-powered punch, he would be blown to pieces. But it was stopped by this guy's kitchen knife. He wanted to run. As long as he sent out the news, Yemo wouldn't be able to get away. He didn't need to fight himself. Thinking about running, he immediately took back that primordial bag. However, Yemo already sent out Shadowless. How could Yemo not be able to tell this cultivator wanted to run away? Shadowless, who had been lurking, charged out without hesitation while Zissou hacked out again. The illusion Cloud Hua Mountain strike was only enough to stop this cultivator for the blink of an eye, but that time was enough for Shadowless to ambush him. When he was ambushed by Shadowless, he immediately knew things weren't good. He enveloped Shadowless with his cultivation essence while punching again. His momentum weakened the moment he thought of running. Meanwhile, Yemo's Hua Mountain strike relied on momentum and temperament. The weaker the opponent's momentum was, the more unstoppable Hua Mountain strike was. Zissou clashed with his fist. His fist immediately split apart, and the entire arm was blown to nothing. Even so, the hollow spirit state cultivator calmly used blood escape. This hollow spirit state level 1 was unimaginably powerful. He had never thought that a hollow spirit state level 1 would be this powerful. He wasn't even sure how many more cards Yemo had to play. He just wanted to run now. As long as he got away, there would be more powerful people from his sect coming to kill Yemo. With a thud, the hollow spirit state crashed into Yemo's formation. At the same time, Shadowless and Zissou attacked again. "You're also a formation great master!" Even in his death, this hollow spirit state didn't dare to believe that this guy was a pill king that fought this crazily and was also a formation great master. Yemo panted while collecting his formation flags. He also took the primordial bag to study. This hollow spirit state level 7 was really hard to kill. He almost got away. If he had, then the Infinity Sect would know he was here and would send masters to stop him. If it was body condensation state and above, there was no way for him to live. Yemo went on the unmanned flying ship of the Infinity Sect and waved to Gonliang and them. "Put away that ship and come here." This was a low-grade cultivation artifact flying ship, while the Sword Valleys was just an extreme-grade spirit artifact. Luo Fei and the rest of the people watched in a daze as Emo fought that hollow spirit state level 7 cultivator. They were all shocked by the endless amount of methods Emo had, especially the hollow spirit state level 2 old man from Sword Valley. This was the first time he had seen a hollow spirit state level 1 powerful to this extent. He even killed a hollow spirit state level 7 and only paid the price of being injured. When Emo called them over, they finally reacted. The old man put away the flying ship and the sect leader's body and came to the low-grade cultivation artifact flying ship. Luo Fei, sorry, I brought this disaster to you. Emo saw that Luo Fei's eyes were red and she was unable to talk. City Lord Yi. Luo Fei called out and didn't know what to say. Emo said guiltily. Just call me Martial Brother or Big Brother Yi. We're old friends too, I brought this disaster upon you. Emo said guiltily. Just call me Martial Brother or Big Brother Yi. We're old friends too, I brought this disaster upon you. He then paused and asked, Where did Jinzi go, do you know? Luo Fei wiped her eyes. The sect was in a mess and the sect leader knew that we were no match for the Infinity Sect, so he told the sect members to scatter. Z went missing. Emo knew that in such a situation, there was no way to find out where Yunzi was. She might even have been killed. He didn't ask Luo Fei anymore. Regardless of whether or not she was killed, they were friends and she had to face this calamity due to him. Now, he was determined to annihilate the Infinity Sect. Luo Fei introduced a few more people to Emo. It was that hollow spirit state level 2 old man. He was a forgery master of Sword Valley called Mi Jinjie. The Golden Core State Level 6 youth was Miao Wuren and the Golden Core State Level 3 girl was Huan Lanlan. At the same time, he knew that Luo Fei was the current sect leader of Sword Valley. Emo knew what the previous sect leader's intention was in passing the sect leader to Luo Fei, but he had made up his mind to help re-establish the Sword Valley. Emo simply spirit-controlled the flying ship and gave it to Mi Jinjie to control. He changed the destination to Pill City. After a conversation, the two were feeling sentimental, but Emo suddenly thought of something and his face changed drastically. What is it, Big Brother Yi? Luo Fei asked. She began to worry too, as her fate was joined together with Emo's. If something happened to him, she wouldn't be better off as well. Since the Infinity Sect dares to go to Sword Valley and find you too, then they would go to Black Eye Sect to find Bei Wei and Susu. Emo said heavily. He subconsciously thought that since Black Eye Sect was a 9-star sect, ordinary people didn't dare to provoke them at all. But now he woke up after talking with Luo Fei for a while. Huh! Luo Fei realized this too and began to worry. She knew all too well what Sister Susu meant to Emo. What if something happened to her? But then she knew that there was no point in worrying and could only comfort. Sister Susu is at Black Eye Sect. No matter how cocky they are, they wouldn't dare to do what they did to Sword Valley to Black Eye Sect. Emo heard this and felt a little comforted, but then he said, I'm going to see the Black Eye Sect. Susu and Bei Wei don't have much support there. What if the Infinity Sect entices them with benefits or forces the Black Eye Sect? Who knows what could happen? I've heard that the Black Eye Sect has declined. They've only got one truth realization state cultivator and are just a little bit stronger than an 8-star sect. Ever since the Pill King tournament, the Black Eye Sect was nowhere to be seen and they didn't send people to him for pill concoction. This was staying extra low-key. Emo told Uncle Jie to change the direction to Black Eye Sect. After half a day, he heard a big laugh. Emo was shaken. Who was this? That laugh was clearly very distant, but he heard it right next to his ear. A truth realization state cultivator. Emo realized that it was at least a truth realization state cultivator who had laughed. Emo broke out in a cold sweat. No matter how powerful he was only an insect to a truth realization state cultivator. Kid, I just went out for a spin and you were gone. You have your wife at home that you don't stay with and instead you're here looking for some fresh girls. You're indeed a playboy. However, Emo breathed easy instead. An old man appeared before him. It was Earth Forgery God Lu Wuhu. Emo wanted to laugh. He had looked for him a few times and he wasn't there. Now, he came to blame him. However, for a Qianbei master like him, Emo had to pay his respects. Emo greets Lu Qianbei. Emo quickly got up and saluted with his fists. Haha, I never make losing deals. I know you're thinking about what you owe me. Don't worry, I'll let you pay me back today. Lu Wuhu said to Luo Fei. Girl, go out for a while first. You can have fun with him later. Luo Fei blushed and said respectfully, Qianbei, you're kidding, Emo is like a brother to Wanbei. Then she said, Wanbei will go for now. If it was someone that even Emo respected a lot, he must not be ordinary. Luo Fei quickly left. Lu Wuhu clearly didn't care much about what Luo Fei said. He looked at Emo and said, You've offended a lot of people. I went out searching for you but found a lot of bad people watching you. Emo smiled calmly. Qianbei is right, Wanbei did indeed offend some people. Qianbei came from Pill City, I wonder. Lu Wuhu waved his hand. You don't need to ask, your wife is fine. She's Golden Core State Peak stage now. It seems you have quite a lot of good stuff too. You went out for a spin and reached Hollow Spirit State power now. I've been invited by the Black Eye sect, are you planning to go there too? Did you get invited too? Emo rejoiced. He just wanted to go to Black Eye sect and now Lu Wuhu was here, how convenient. Lu Wuhu made him owe him clearly because he needed his help. Emo would be an idiot not to ask him for him help now. Emo laughed. Yes, Qianbei, I was planning to go to Black Eye sect, but I wasn't invited. Lu Wuhu said straightforwardly. Black Eye sect is having a marriage alliance with Infinity sect. They invited a lot of people and I was invited too. But other than this, there's something else important. That's why I came. He then drank a sip of wine gloatingly as though it was something honorable that he was invited but Emo wasn't. But Emo wasn't in the mood. His heart sunk after hearing Lu Wuhu's words. Without a doubt, it was Susu or Bei Wei, but it was more likely to be Susu. Seeing that Emo didn't talk, Lu Wuhu said, What, is it because the girl from Marriage is South Peace State's #1 beauty so you're interested too? Don't worry, as long as you go you have an opportunity too. It was Susu indeed. Emo wanted to fly to Black Eye sect immediately, but he had to keep his calm. He asked respectfully, Qianbei, where is my opportunity? Wow, you're really into that girl? Not bad, that girl is indeed very pretty, you do match with her. Then, he suddenly stopped and laughed at Emo. Do you know you owe me one? Usually, Emo would be speechless. This old man brought it up countless times, but now, he really wasn't in the mood. Seeing that Emo didn't seem to be too happy, Lu Wuhu changed the topic. We'll talk about the debt later. I'll help you again. Originally, that girl didn't agree, but although she agreed later, she said that there had to be a fighting tournament to win her. The person who gets #1 on the stage can be her husband. You're Hollow Spirit State now, you have some chance. Emo frowned and suddenly said, That's impossible. Why is it impossible? Lu Wuhu asked strangely. That girl wouldn't agree to this way of picking a husband, there must be some inside story. Emo's tone was agitated. Lu Wuhu glanced at Emo in surprise and suddenly said, Do you know that girl too? Last time she came to Pill City, I didn't see you two being very close? I just saw you very close to your Shui wife. Susu came to Pill City last time? Emo was dazed, was it not Susu? Emo looked at Lu Wuhu in confusion. What is that girl's name from Black Eye sect? Lu Wuhu glared at Emo. When did I say the girl was from Black Eye sect? She's from the Infinity sect, called Wensai. The Infinity sect and Black Eye sect were going to have a marriage alliance, and that Wensai girl said she wanted a powerful husband, so the genius disciples in Black Eye sect have to contest. If you want to compete too, I can get you a spot. Same as last time, you owe me one again. Emo breathed easy. He thought it was Susu but it was actually Wensai. He didn't care who Wensai married at all. But then, Emo thought it must be related to Susu. Susu probably rejected them, so they took out a genius disciple to give away first, and then take Susu away. If that was the case, he had to go quickly. Yemo calmed down and quickly waved his hand. Qianbei, don't try to scam me anymore. I can't even fall asleep due to owing you already, and now you want me to owe you more. Yemo calmed down and quickly waved his hand. Qianbei, don't try to scam me anymore. I can't even fall asleep due to owing you already, and now you want me to owe you more. Okay. Lu Wuhu smiled and suddenly popped up to Yemo. If you're worrying about that debt, then how about I ask you something? If you reply, then you don't owe me anymore. How about it? That simple? Yemo looked at Lu Wuhu in disbelief. Lu Wuhu was a Qianbei master, but from Jingingli, he knew that this guy didn't make losing deals. How could someone like him just ask one question? Lu Wuhu said casually. Yeah, it's that simple. Okay, then ask, I'll listen carefully. As long as I know, I'll answer. If he could pay Lu Wuhu back this easily, he would rather owe him a few favors. Lu Wuhu thought casually with a sigh. It's really hard to ask a casual question. Should I ask how old you are? Or... Yemo glared his eyes in disbelief. It couldn't be that simple of a question. He quickly said, Then ask how old I am, I'll tell you. Lu Wuhu suddenly stopped Yemo from talking and said, I suddenly thought of a question. You're a pill king, so you must know a lot. I saw a herb at my friend's place last time. It looks like a bamboo, but my friend says it's not. I'll draw it to you, do you know it? Lu Wuhu took out a white blank paper and drew. A green bamboo plant appeared on the paper. Different than ordinary bamboo, the leaves were very big, many times bigger than ordinary bamboo leaves. The leaf shape was also crescent-shaped. Also, the leaves started appearing at the root area. Yemo immediately realized this was the bitter bamboo. This meant that Lu Wuhu knew he had the bitter bamboo. But then Yemo thought, this is impossible. If he knew that he had bitter bamboo, then he wouldn't need to act like that. Clearly he felt he didn't know the bitter bamboo, that's why he drew it. Plus, his bitter bamboo was in his golden page world. No matter how powerful Lu Wuhu, he wouldn't be able to reach his spirit sense into his golden page world. But why did Lu Wuhu ask this question? Seeing Yemo stare at it and not speak, Lu Wuhu asked worriedly, Do you know this bamboo? Or have you seen it? Hearing this, Yemo realized that Lu Wuhu was sure he had seen the bitter bamboo and perhaps he had bitter bamboo chi on him. That's why he wanted to know the location of the bitter bamboo through him. The bitter bamboo wasn't just an extreme grade spirit item but also an utmost highest forgery material. It was no wonder that Lu Wuhu could feel the bitter bamboo chi. Yemo looked at it for a while and shook his head. I haven't seen this bamboo, it's very strange. It's like bamboo but not really. That's impossible, you must have seen it. Lu Wuhu called out immediately. Yemo shook his head again. Lu Qianbei, although I haven't seen this bamboo but I've seen this bamboo leaf. Really? Lu Wuhu immediately rejoiced and looked at Yemo fervently. Tell me, where is it? Yemo realized that Lu Wuhu knew he had seen the bitter bamboo from the chi on him. Bitter bamboo was too important to Yemo. Even if Lu Wuhu tried to rob it from him, he wasn't going to give it. But this Lu Wuhu really knew how to resist, and only asked now. Yemo took out the bitter bamboo leaf he used for his divine damnation and said, It's on me, have a look. Lu Wuhu grabbed it and said very excitedly, It's really bitter bamboo leaf, it really is. He just felt there seemed to bitter bamboo chi on Yemo, but he wasn't too sure. He didn't expect it to be real. He looked at the leaf again and again. His hands were shaking with excitement. Wait! Lu Wuhu suddenly said. There's no way you can take off the bitter bamboo leaf unless it has a master. But how is that possible? Lu Wuhu then studied Yemo from head to toe again. Yemo was shook, he must not let this old guy see something. He suddenly thought, was he able to dig out the bitter bamboo because it approved of him as master? Yemo said, I picked up this leaf from the Truth Fall Palace Forbidden Grounds. There was a big black mountain and it was covered with black lightning. Ordinary people can't go up at all. I just walked past the bottom of the mountain. It was still very far from the actual mountain, and I picked up the leaf there. I felt this leaf was very nice, so I picked it up. Ever since then I've been cultivating while holding this leaf, and it feels very good. So this is the bitter bamboo leaf? Lu Wuhu heard this and murmured. It's really in the Truth Fall Palace Forbidden Grounds. There really is World Mountain there. That means the bitter bamboo is also there. Lu Wuhu looked at Yemo and said, It's natural that you don't know this. This is an ancient thing. Although it has some benefits for your cultivation, it's limited. The main purpose is for forgery. But then again, your luck is insane. You can even encounter the bitter bamboo leaf. I've been to the Truth Fall Palace a few times. How come I haven't met the bitter bamboo? 30 years later. Yemo was speechless. This old guy dared to trick him by saying that the bitter bamboo had no use for cultivation. But clearly, this guy would find someone to go look for it 30 years later. Unfortunately, the bitter bamboo was already sitting in the Golden Page world. Even if he could get it, could he afford to raise it? Can I make a deal with you? This bitter bamboo leaf is a good forgery item and I'm a forgery grandmaster, but about. Yemo looked at him in shock. Qian Bei, you're not trying to rob me of this cultivation magical artifact, are you? I've already paid you back. Lu Wuhu felt a little awkward. He couldn't lower himself to rob it, but he didn't want to give up the bitter bamboo leaf he just got. How about I get you a spot for the Black Ice Sect tournament? No, you don't need to compete. I will speak to the Infinity Sect leader and give that girl as your wife. Lu Wuhu patted his chest. Yemo wanted to laugh, but he pretended his heart was aching. Since it's a forgery treasure, then I'll give it to you. Thank you, Pil King Yemo brother Yi. We're brothers from now on. Lu Wuhu said happily as he took out a jade box about to place it in carefully. Wait. Yemo stopped Lu Wuhu. Seeing that Lu Wuhu was a little worried, Yemo said, Although bitter bamboo leaf is my best treasure, I'm willing to give it to Lu Qian Bei. No, just call me Brother Lu. Who are we? Don't be so distant. Lu Wuhu quickly smiled. Yemo thought, I didn't see you being so intimate right at the start, but he laughed and said, In that case, Brother Lu. Lu Wuhu then put the bitter bamboo away and waved his hand. Then we don't need to be so distant with each other. Brother Lu, I have 3 things I need your help for. Yemo said without hesitation. Say it, as long as brother can help I will do it for sure. Lu Wuhu waved his hand. Okay, first I want you to forge a magic artifact for me. Yemo said. No worries. Second, if I have an opponent I can't beat, Brother Lu can help me 20 times or 10 times is fine. That's fine. Lu Wuhu just wanted to answer, but he immediately looked at Yemo. Wait, I can't be your henchman. Oh. Yemo didn't say anything. Okay, I'll help you 3 times, and there are a few cultivation artifacts here, you can choose one. He took out a stack of cultivation artifacts. Yemo rejoiced and found a longsword there. He chose that longsword because it was the only top-grade cultivation artifact. Okay, what's the last thing? Lu Wuhu put them away and asked. Yemo smiled. I want to bring 10 people here from North Far State. Lu Wuhu quickly waved his hand. Impossible, even I can't do that. I can maybe do 1, but 10 is definitely impossible. The cost of the teleportation formation from North Far State is too high. Don't even think about it, change it to something else. Yemo also knew that was probably impossible, so he said, Then I'll copy you, Brother Lu, you owe me 1 too. I'll ask for it next time. The Black Ice Mountain was the location of the Black Ice Sect, and the Black Ice Peak was the main peak of Black Ice Mountain. Usually, no one could come here other than the peak leader and a few elders, but today, the formation was open and wave after wave of people came. The Black Ice Mountain was the location of the Black Ice Sect, and the Black Ice Peak was the main peak of Black Ice Mountain. Usually, no one could come here other than the peak leader and a few elders, but today, the formation was open and wave after wave of people came. When Yemo came to the Black Ice Sect, Lu Wuhu's name was of great use. Before Lu Wuhu even reported his name, the greeting sect member already recognized him and respectfully brought him into the guest hall. Yemo and them followed Lu Wuhu in and found that this hall was extremely huge. There was a large spacious area in the middle. At this moment, the hall was filled with cultivators. There were rows of seats on the left and right. In the front row all sat people with high status. Yemo didn't need to scan with spirit sense to know that all the people here were not at a lower cultivation level than him. There were many people whom Yemo knew, some were 8-star or 9-star sect leaders and elders. There were a few solo cultivators who were also famous. Yemo had met them all at the Pill City. Seeing these people come, Yemo had a bad feeling. Even if the Infinity Sect was going to have a marriage alliance with Black Eye Sect, they didn't need to create such a scene. Lu Qianbei. A lot of cultivators called out greetings when Lu Wuhu came. Yemo and them were ignored as they were thought to be followers of Lu Wuhu. A few cultivators who knew Lu Wuhu never had followers looked at Yemo carefully and realized how wrong they were. At this moment, the ushers arranged Lu Wuhu to sit at the front row and placed Yemo and them behind Lu Wuhu. Lu Wuhu just wanted to introduce Yemo, but he didn't need to anymore. More cultivators got up and walked to Yemo, greeting him. City Lord Yi. Pill King Yi. Brother Yi. Many people who didn't know Yemo all started asking around. Soon, everyone knew that this young man was the honorary City Lord of Pill City and a level 7 Pill King. Knowing this, most sects came to greet Yemo, all except Lightning Cloud Sect and Infinity Sect. Haha, Brother Yemo, if I knew you would come I would have come with you. Jiling's familiar voice made Yemo feel warm. Jiling was an honest person and a trustworthy friend. Yemo's respect for him far exceeded that for Lu Wuhu. The usher cultivator looked at Yemo in awkwardness and fright. Sorry, Pill King Yi, I'll arrange your seat for you again. That usher quickly brought Yemo to sit at the front row with Lu Wuhu. Those sitting in this row were either sect leaders or great masters. Yemo nodded but didn't sit down. He pointed at Luo Fei and said, This is my friend Sword Valley's new sect leader, Goddess Luo. Luo Fei was shocked at how many Qian Bais and masters came to greet Yemo. She just now realized how high Yemo's status was. Silently, he had reached this level already. Huh? The usher just realized he ignored another important figure. Although Luo Fei looked weak, level 7 Pill King Yi introduced her, and she came with Lu Wuhu as well. Clearly she wasn't simple. Mijinxie from Sword Valley saw this and breathed easy. He didn't want the Sword Valley to lose face here. Seeing Yemo introducing Luo Fei to everyone, some people wanted to greet Luo Fei to get on Yemo's good side, but after they knew she was Sword Valley's sect leader, they all gave up on the idea. Less cultivators came to greet Yemo too. Sword Valley was annihilated by Infinity Sect. Everyone knew this. No one was going to offend the 9-star sect Infinity Sect for a foundation establishment state cultivator. Luo Fei sat with Yemo and Lu Wuhu at the front row. Mijinxie, Gan Liang and them sat behind them. All the elders who greeted Yemo sat back, but Jiling was still talking to Yemo. Although they had discussed for an entire day last time, he still wasn't done. Brother Yi, you're really faster. You came out of solitary cultivation and you're a hollow spirit state cultivator, Jiling said. Yemo smiled and just wanted to explain when he heard a laugh. Welcome sect leaders, elders, and Qianbei masters. Black Eye Sect is honored to have you all here. An extremely handsome middle-aged man walked in with a smile. There were 6 people behind him, but the weakest was Cauldron Filling State. Sect Leader Yen, you're too polite. Sect Leader Yen. People greeted him. Yemo knew this handsome middle-aged man was the sect leader of Black Eye Sect, Yen Guan. He was at least disaster transformation state power. Usually, the sect leader didn't manage sect business, it was all managed by vice sect leaders. Vice sect leaders were usually weaker cultivators who had no hopes of breaking through. Yen Guan then walked up to Lu Wuhu and saluted with his fists. Wanbei Yen Guan greets Lu Qianbei. Lu Wuhu smiled. The Black Eye Sect set up such a scene, it couldn't just be for a marriage competition, right? Xianbei, you're funny. Yan Guan laughed awkwardly and then walked up to Emo and saluted with his fists. Pill City's Pill King Yi could come here, it's our great honor. Emo smiled and stood up, saluting with his fists. Sect Leader Yan, you're too kind, I heard about the good news here so I came with Brother Lu to bring our cheer. At the same time, there are some private matters I wish to ask Black Eye Sect for help. Yan Guan heard Emo called Lu Wuhu brother, and was dazed. Since when were they brothers? But he immediately said, Thank you, Pill King Yi, no matter what it is, just say it. As long as we can help, we won't reject. After this, please stay here at our sect for a few days. Emo wanted to bring Susu and Bei Wei, so of course he wasn't going to reject. He quickly saluted with his fists and thanked. The Black Eye Sect can definitely help with my business. By the way, I heard South Peace State 10 beauties Luo Susu and Tang Bei Wei are both from your honorable sect? Yan Guan was dazed. He didn't expect someone as renowned as Emo to straight up ask about the South Peace State 10 beauties. But he reacted soon. He heard that Pill King Yi took Ning Qingxue from the ethereal immortal pond at the tournament. Clearly, he loved beauty. Thinking about this, he smiled. Yes, they are our 2 core sect members. I wonder how they are now. Emo asked. Yan Guan was more bewildered. Even he wouldn't constantly care about a core sect member. But now that Emo asked, he could only reply. Great, they're great. Haha, Brother Yan, long time no see. Another voice sounded outside the hall. Yan Guan heard it, and immediately apologized to Emo and greeted him. This is Infinity Sect leader Yang Feiqing. The truth realization state cultivator behind him is He Ling. Mi Xinjie gritted his teeth and said to Emo. But as soon as he said this, a few eyes glanced over. Emo knew that Mi Xinjie's power was too low, there were too many powerful beings here and they heard his sound transmission. But Emo didn't care. He nodded and didn't talk. Instead, he studied this Yang Feiqing guy. Many of Lightning Cloud Sect's people greeted him too. Yang Feiqing was also disaster transformation state level and seemed of similar age to Yan Guan, but Emo felt this guy was much older than Yan Guan. He seemed amicable, but those eagle eyes already exposed the sort of person he was. Emo felt a surprised look glance at him. It was Winsai. Emo took his eyes back, but Yang Feiqing glanced his eyes over at Emo. Although it was seemingly casual, Emo felt it was extremely cold. So powerful! Luckily he tricked Lu Wuhu here to his side, so Emo wasn't scared of a fight. When everyone was seated, lush spirit fruit and wine was served. Yan Guan got up and saluted with his fists. Everyone here are among the biggest Qian Bais and masters in our South Peace State. I thank everyone for being able to come. Other than the marriage of Infinity Sex Winsai, there's something else very important. Yan Guan said slowly. Many might have guessed that not far into the future there will be some changes that will shake South Peace State and even the entire Luoyu continent. Although we don't know what it is yet, we've set up the teleportation formation connecting the 2 states. Yan Guan said slowly. Many might have guessed that not far into the future there will be some changes that will shake South Peace State and even the entire Luoyu continent. Although we don't know what it is yet, we've set up the teleportation formation connecting the 2 states. Then, Yan Guan looked at Yang Feiqing. Thank you, Infinity Sect leader, for increasing the relationship between us and being willing to marry Winsai Goddess into our sect. Using this opportunity, I would like to announce something to everyone. In order to prevent something really happening to the South Peace State cultivation world, Sect Leader Yang and I propose to create a South Peace State Sect Alliance. Many people started discussing. They realized what this was. Almost all the 7-star and above sects were invited. Although some sects' high-level members weren't here, they'd sent representatives. The 9-star sects were fine, but some small sects began to worry. If they didn't join this alliance, would they be suppressed by 9-star sects just like Sword Valley? Sword Valley was an ancient sect and a 7-star sect, but Infinity Sect just annihilated on a whim. I agree with Sect Leader Yan and Sect Leader Yang's idea. After we build the South Alliance, It would gather the strength of us South Peace State cultivators and weld the sects together in case of sudden incidents. This would benefit all South Peace State sects. A lightning cloud sect old man got up and said. Emo looked at this old man. He was disaster transformation state peak stage, and could reach truth realization state at any time. We from Eternity C sect also agree. We from Earth Demon sect also agree. Some 7-star and 8-star sect didn't know what to do anymore upon seeing that some sects began supporting this. Who knew if they would be controlled after joining this alliance? No sect wanted to be ruled by someone else, especially in the cultivation realm that valued freedom. But 3 9-star sects had already agreed. Even if some sects didn't agree, no one dared to disobey. Emo looked at Earth Demon sect strangely. Wasn't that sect only 6-star? How were they here too? The lowest standard here was to be a 7-star sect. Emo had a bad feeling. He also killed Wuyu from Eternity C sect, but only Epandai knew about it. She wouldn't betray him. Seeing that more sects were going to support this, Emo got up and smiled. Haha, today's really a good day. This was a serious topic, but Yemo's smiling ruined that serious atmosphere. If someone else did this, even if the 9-star sects didn't reproach them, their 7 and 8-star sects would come say something. But it was Yemo, and no one dared to do this. After all, his other identity was Pill City's honorary Vice City Lord. Pill City was the only 10-star power, no one dared to touch that. Haha, Pill Kingy is right, today is indeed a good day. Yan Guan smiled. Yang Feiqing and Lightning Cloud sect leader Wang Chuan's face were green with anger, but even they didn't dare to openly attack Yemo. Now that they hadn't brought the conflict to the surface, Yemo couldn't use Pill City to fight them. But if they brought things to the surface, who knows what the 2 Pill City lords would do. The Pill City's power wasn't just a few truth realization state elders and the 2 city lord that they showed. Their real power was invisible. Otherwise, they wouldn't be renowned as the only 10-star city. Yemo smiled and saluted with his fists to Yan Guan. Today's a great day because it's the day Goddess Wen chooses a husband. This is the good news, the proper business. After the proper business is over, the rest of Qian Bai's here can discuss about other big things. Otherwise, someone like me who only likes small business and paparazzi will fall asleep listening to such big news. It's really unbearable. I've long admired Goddess Wen's big name, so I came to see Goddess Wen today. Sect Leader Yan, there are quite some people like me, shouldn't you finish the proper business first? If someone else said something as absurd as this, Yan Guan would have dragged him out already, but he could only smile at this Pill City Honor Vice City Lord. Pill Kingy is right. Sect Leader Yang and Sect Leader Wang, what do you think? Yang Feiqing's eyes were ice cold. In his eyes, Yemo was a dead man. Even if he couldn't kill him here, since he dared to come to Black Ice Mountain, then don't blame him for attacking. He just didn't expect Yemo to suddenly appear here and foil his plan. Some 7 and 8-star sect core sect members were discussing how bold this Pill Kingy was, overtly rebuking the decision of 3 9-star sect leaders, and no one dared to reject. Those who didn't want to join the South Alliance were all grateful to Yemo. Yemo did something they didn't dare to do. Yang Feiqing said calmly. Does Pill Kingy not think something that concerns our entire South Peace State cultivation world is not a big matter? Or does Pill Kingy not care about the safety of our South Peace State cultivation world? Yemo clapped twice and laughed. Old brother, well said. I'm an idiot. The safety of South Peace State have powerful beings like you to take care of it. But you're right, I really don't care. Your South Alliance, I don't want to join, and nor do I want to waste time here. So, Goddess Wen's business is big business to me. You. Yan Feiqing's face was green, but he didn't dare to do anything to Yemo. I agreed to City Lord Ye's words. As for the South Alliance, those sects willing to join can discuss with each other. We from Abstruse Sound sect don't wish to join. A middle-aged woman saluted with her fists and said, I agree with Abstruse Sound sect's Elder Fu regarding the South Alliance. I think even if there's to be an alliance, it needs to be discussed with the Pill City Lord. Pill City is a 10-star sect, yet they don't even know about this. Clearly, this thing isn't planned well. Our Clear Dream Mosque won't participate for now. An old nun from Clear Dream Mosque said. We from Godwind Valley agree with City Lord Yi. Another representative got up. We from Heaven Star Sect agree with City Lord Yi. Ethereal Immortal Pond. Seeing more and more people agree with EMO, the Infinity Sect and Lightning Cloud Sect leaders' faces looked worse and worse. Even Yan Guan felt things weren't right. He didn't know about Infinity Sect and EMO, so he accepted when Infinity Sect came to show goodwill. Now it seemed that there was great conflict between Infinity Sect and City Lord Yi. If that was the case, he really needed to reconsider. From what the audience showed, City Lord Yi had great respect and the support of many 9-star sections. Thinking about how Yemo was also brothers with Lu Wuhu, Yan Guan felt things were going the wrong direction. Haha, okay, I agree to City Lord Yi's proposal. We'll discuss the alliance later. All the guests are here today for our Black Eye Sect's marriage. How can we delay that? It's my fault. Yan Guan immediately said. Yang Feiqing also immediately got up and smiled. City Lord Yi is right, today is the day of marriage after all. It's the bliss of Wensai and our sect that she's marrying into Black Eye Sect. So today, I'm going to add bliss on top of bliss. I need to request sect leader for something else. Yan Guan breathed easy seeing that Yang Feiqing put the alliance matter aside. I heard that Black Eye Sect's Black Cloud Peak core disciple Luo Susu is both talented and beautiful, ranked as number 1 in South Peace State 10 Beauties with Sai. Our Infinity Sect's core disciple Dong Tianya is also a talented genius. So we brought one low-grade spirit artifact and a truth spirit pill as a wedding gift, hoping to form this marriage. People immediately broke into discussion. They were astounded that the Infinity Sect was willing to pay so much. Yemo sneered, this old man really dared to do such a thing. Luckily he came today. Yemo sneered, this old man really dared to do such a thing. Luckily he came today. Yan Guan was also dazed. He didn't expect Infinity Sect's Yang Feiqing to offer such good terms. The truth realization pill was something very rare, at least Black Eye Sect didn't have it. Even other 9-star sects wouldn't have too many, at most 1 or 2. Most of the truth realization state cultivators were ancient beings except for an extremely few new ones. The truth realization pill was the only pill that could give disaster transformation state cultivators an extra 20% chance of reaching truth realization state. This was something that even spirit stones couldn't buy. Even 9-star sects wouldn't easily use truth realization pills as this was the future of the sect. Yet, the Infinity Sect took out a truth realization pill and another low-grade spirit range. He was disaster transformation state peak stage, and he needed the truth realization pill the most. Most of the disaster transformation state cultivators on Luo Yu continent relied on truth realization pills to reach truth realization state. Only a few rare ones could use other means to reach truth realization state. Most stayed in disaster transformation state forever. Yan Guan's hands were shaky. He wanted to say something but Yemo knew things weren't good, so he quickly stood up and said coldly to Yang Feiqing. Sorry then, sect leader Yang, Luo Susu is my wife. Tang Beiwei is my sister. I came to pick them up today, you can take back your shitty schemes. Humph. Yang Feiqing sneered but ignored Yemo and looked at Yan Guan. Clearly, he meant that Yemo was intentionally trying to start problems with him. This was not only being disrespectful to Infinity Sect but also Black Eye Sect. Yemo knew that this wasn't the best time to bring this up, but he had to. The bastard Yang Feiqing was too sinister. How dare he scheme for Susu? Yemo cursed that his power was so low. If he was truth realization state he would have already fought Yang Feiqing. He had no reason to tolerate schemes for Susu, but he had to. Indeed, Yuan Guan's face sunk down. He had been really polite with Yemo, but now Yemo's actions clearly made it seem that he didn't take Black Eye Sect seriously and didn't care about Luo Susu's reputation. He looked at Yemo coldly and said, City Lord Yi, although you're the Vice City Lord of Pill City, we Black Eye Sect are a 9-star sect too. Not anyone can do what they like, aren't your words over the top? Even though Yen Guan was furious, he had to control his words. Insolent brat, how dare you insult my disciple? Is a mere level 7 pill king very significant? I'm going to slice you! The old female cultivator behind Yen Guan rose up furiously but was stopped by another Black Ice Sect cauldron-filling state cultivator. No matter what, clearly it wasn't good to attack Yemo here. Yemo looked at that old woman. She was cauldron-filling state. He didn't expect this old woman to be Susu's master. He heard Qingxue say that Susu's master is very nice to Susu, so he wasn't angry. Even some other sect leaders and cultivators felt Yemo was crossing the line. Everyone knew that Yemo had Ning Qingxue. His previous words with Infinity Sect's sect leader clearly meant that there was conflict between them. Now that Infinity Sect took out a marriage gift to propose to Luo Susu, he immediately came out and said Susu was his wife. How could there be such a coincidence in the world? But because Yemo helped them a lot by saying what they didn't dare to say, no one said anything. But one elder from Lightning Cloud Sect sneered. The Pill City honorary city lord is indeed arrogant, marrying whomever he wants. Who dares to disobey him? How could Yemo not tell that this elder was trying to start trouble? However, he ignored him. He walked to Yen Guan and bowed before saying politely. Sect leader Yen, this must be Susu's master, you're Yemo's Qianbei as well. I wasn't invited to Black Eye Sect this time and I believe you guys know that. But Wan Bei indeed came to pick up my wife Susu and my sister Bei Wei. If you don't believe me, you can bring them here to ask them. Yen Guan and the female cultivator were dazed. They could tell Yemo was being genuine. But this was too coincidental. Other sect cultivators also looked at Yemo in confusion. Even they weren't sure if Yemo was telling the truth. Many people felt Yemo wasn't lying as this was too easy to prove. They only had to ask Luo Susu or Tang Beiwei. When Tsai clenched her fists and stared at Yemo, she didn't doubt at all that Susu was Yemo's wife. When Tsai thought of her oath, no matter who Luo Susu's husband was, she would rob him from her and then kick him back. In reality, Luo Susu's husband was indeed a dragon amongst men. He was so young and already a level 7 pill king. She couldn't even see his power level. Yemo, do you think that you can do whatever you want as an honorary city lord of Pill City? How can there be such a coincidence in the world? I, Healing, will kill you here today, so what? A grey-robed old man formed a huge cultivation essence hand and wanted to kill Yemo on the spot. No one expected Healing really dared to do this. Yen Guan cursed. Black Ice Sect only had one truth realization state Grand Elder, but that elder wasn't here. There was no way to stop it. Many cultivators greeted Yemo before, but no one was willing to help Yemo stop this. Jiling quickly got up and said, He Qianbei, wait. But Healing didn't seem to hear it, and reached the cultivation essence huge hand over. A hollow spirit state cultivator really couldn't do anything against a truth realization state cultivator. Yemo smiled and said, Old Lu, someone really doesn't take me seriously and dares to attack. Chop off his claw and let's serve it for our first wine today. Everyone heard this and was dazed. What did Yemo mean? Only Lu Wuhu understood what Yemo meant. First wine meant his first time attacking for him. Lu Wuhu didn't even care about 9-star sect, he cared about when Yemo asked him to attack the 3 times. To him, the earlier the better. He was all too happy that Yemo asked for his help. Without hesitation, he also reached out a giant hand of cultivation essence. Lu Wuhu had been in truth realization state for countless years and was the pinnacle being. Healing was only a truth realization state primary stage cultivator. He was a far cry from Lu Wuhu. Thud Healing's cultivation essence giant hand was instantly crippled. At the same time, he spat blood. In just one move, he was injured. One could see how powerful Lu Wuhu was. Luckily Lu Wuhu knew that he was a 9-star sect Grand Elder, and didn't really cut his hand off. Lu Qianbei, what do you mean by this? Yang Feiqing's face changed. If Lu Wuhu helped Yemo, they wouldn't be able to kill Yemo even after he left Black Ice Sect, much less now. Lu Wuhu said lazily. Why do I need to tell you? How dare you attack my brother in front of me? Are you asking to die? This is a warning, the next time won't be so simple. I won't joke with you guys. Everyone instantly froze. Yemo called Lu Wuhu old Lu, and with one word Lu Wuhu attacked for him. Even Yu Qichao had to call Lu Wuhu Qianbei. With such powerful support, who dared to attack Yemo? Yan Guan sweated cold. If Fan Yizhu really attacked Yemo, then they would have been finished. Susu is our Black Eye sect member, my personal disciple. Even the Infinity sect leader brought wedding gifts and personally came to propose. Pil King Yi, do you think just because you're from Pil City, you can forcefully take away my Black Eye sect member? The old female cultivator asked. Susu is our Black Eye sect member, my personal disciple. Even the Infinity sect leader brought wedding gifts and personally came to propose. Pil King Yi, do you think just because you're from Pil City, you can forcefully take away my Black Eye sect member? The old female cultivator asked. She then looked around and saluted with her fists. Our Black Eye sect isn't as powerful as Pil City, but we're still a 9-star sect. No one can abuse us like this. I don't care what Susu's identity in the mortal world was, but she's my personal disciple now. She will marry whom I want her to marry. No one can force me. Otherwise, even if I die, I will maintain the authority of the Black Eye sect. Everyone could tell that Fan Lianzhu's words meant that she already believed Susu was Yemo's wife, but she still dominantly believed that Yemo had no right to take away Susu from Black Eye sect. Yemo had some good impression of Susu's master originally, but now that he heard this, he was furious. He got up and said coldly, I called you Qianbei because you're Susu's master. Don't think you're anything special. Susu is indeed your disciple, and I'm grateful you took care of her, but she didn't sell herself to you. You have no right to decide what she wants to do. That's Susu's own decision to make. You! Fan Lianz's face was green with anger. In the cultivation realm, the respect for masters was the utmost highest. Yemo said he was Susu's husband but now spoke to her like this. She almost spat blood. Yan Guan quickly got up and said, City Lord Yi, I believe your words too. We'll ask Beiwei later and we'll know. But you also know that when Susu came into our sect, she hadn't established her foundation yet. She was just with a few mortal girls. According to the rules of our cultivation realm, coming into this cultivation realm is severing off your ties to the mortal realm. Everything in the past has nothing to do with her. Yemo's face sunk and said coldly, So sect leader Yan means that Susu has nothing to do with me now. As for what she thinks herself, you don't need to consider, is that right? Yan Guan stuttered. If someone else said this, he would immediately rebut. So what? But he didn't dare to say that to Yemo. Yemo had Lu Wuhu next to him, and there was Pil City supporting him. An abstruse sound sect as well as Clear Dream Mosque also seemed to be supporting him. But Lightning Cloud sect leader Wang Chuanha got up and said, City Lord Yi, according to the rules of the cultivation realm, after Luo Susu entered the Black Eye sect, she indeed severed off her mortal ties. Even if she was related to City Lord Yi in the past, that's the past. And the number one important thing for us cultivators after entering a sect is respecting our masters. Elder Fan is Luo Susu's master. She does have the right to make Susu listen to her. Does City Lord Yi think you can forcefully change the rules of the cultivation realm just because you're Pil City's honorary City Lord? Wang Chuanhe was mocking Yemo as even if the two City Lords of Pil City were here, they wouldn't be able to change that rule. Even though this rule now was just for show and many disciples still returned home after cultivation and no one would care, this rule did indeed exist. Yemo was furious. These guys dared to say this because his power was weak. If he was a truth realization state cultivator, who would dare to say that? Lu Wuhu could protect him, but he wouldn't go challenge 9-star sections. Pil City was on his side, but that rule was just. Although it didn't make sense, it meant that they had reason on their side. If Yemo forcefully pushed this rule away, even the Pill City wouldn't be able to find a good excuse to help him. Lu Wuhu didn't care about this at all. Although he was with Emo, his relationship with him was far from what other people thought. He just wanted to return Emo's favor as quickly as possible, or there would be confinements for his cultivation. Thus, he didn't help Emo say anything at all. Luo Fei was very worried, but her power was too low, and wasn't able to say anything for Emo. Jiling was too honest, and didn't know what to say. In that moment, Emo was all by himself. Emo's heart sunk. He knew he had to have a reason to take Susu away. If his power was strong enough, he would just say, "I'm going to break this rule, what are you going to do?" However, his power wasn't enough to say that. Seeing the situation go into a stalemate, a middle-aged man-woman got up and said, "Elder Fan is right and Sect Leader Wang is also right, but since Sect Leader Yang can propose to Black Eye Sect, so can Sect Leader Yi." This at least helped Emo break the stalemate. Emo was grateful to this beautiful woman. He heard Mijinjia's sound transmission to him that this woman was 9-star Sect Heaven Demon Sect's Elder Li Yao, cauldron-filling state. Emo gave her a grateful look, but before Emo said anything, that Elder Fan's words almost angered Emo to attack right on the spot. Heaven Demon Sect's Elder Li is right. Now that Sect Leader Yang brought such a generous proposal gift, I've decided to marry my disciple Luo Susu into Infinity Sect. Bullshit. Emo couldn't resist the anger anymore and pointed at Fan Lianzhu, cursing. What? City Lord Yi, are you going to take away Susu by force? Then I'll tell you that Sect Leader Yang's proposal gift isn't something other people can bring out. City Lord Yi, although you're a pill king, but can you concoct the truth realization pill? So give up. Lightning Cloud Sect's Wan Chuanhe said calmly. He wanted to make Emo more angry but Emo calmed down instead. He knew his downsides. He looked glorious on the surface, but he didn't have any bargaining chips except for Lu Wuhu helping him twice. Emo suddenly sat down and said calmly, Sect Leader Wang and Elder Fan, according to your words, Susu should completely listen to Black Eye Sect and not be able to make any of her own decisions. Of course, we cultivators should respect our masters. How can the disciple not listen to the master? Wan Chuanhe repeated. But unexpectedly, Emo looked at Lu Wuhu. Brother Lu, so you tricked me before? Lu Wuhu looked at Emo in confusion. How did I trick you? Emo said calmly. Didn't you say that Infinity Sect's goddess wasn't happy with the husband her sect arranged for her, so she would choose a husband through competition? But I just heard Sect Leader Wang say that she doesn't have any right to make that proposal. Even if the Infinity Sect makes her marry a dog, it seems she just has to agree. But you told a different story. Isn't this tricking me? Lu Wuhu immediately understood Emo. He glared at Infinity Sect Yang Feiqing and Black Eye Sect Yen Guan, saying coldly, So the two sect leaders are here to play a joke on me. The initiation given to me clearly says that Goddess Wen is choosing her husband herself. How is it now that she has no right to choose? Do you think I'm easy to pick on? Yen Guan quickly saluted with his fists. Lu Qianbei, you've misunderstood. No matter what, we wouldn't trick Lu Qianbei. Goddess Wen can indeed choose her own husband. Yen Guan didn't want to say it, but he had to. If he angered Lu Wuhu, even if he couldn't annihilate the entire sect by himself, he could cause a massive slaughter here. Oh, then I thought too much. Lu Wuhu nodded. He knew that was already enough to help Emo. Emo sneered. So Goddess Wen can choose her husband but Luo Susu can't. Is it because Black Eye Sect isn't as powerful as Infinity Sect, or is Goddess Wen prettier than Luo Susu? Or is it that Susu is my wife and I'm the Vice City Lord of Pill City and the Black Eye Sect looks down on Pill City? Those sects supporting Emo praised his retaliation. Hearing this, Yen Guan and Fan Lianzhu's faces looked really bad. After no one spoke for a long time, Emo suddenly slammed the table. So the Black Eye Sect thinks the Pill City is easy to abuse? Speaking such bullshit? Brother Lu, lend me a messenger flying sword. I need to message City Lord Yu. Our Pill City has fallen to such a level. Wait, City Lord Yi, I think there's a misunderstanding. Black Eye Sect is a 9-star sect. How can we force Susu to do something that she doesn't want? We'll call Susu up later and let her choose herself. Elder Fan's just saying angry words, don't think too much of it, City Lord Yi. Wait, City Lord Yi, I think there's a misunderstanding. Black Eye Sect is a 9-star sect. How can we force Susu to do something that she doesn't want? We'll call Susu up later and let her choose herself. Elder Fan's just saying angry words, don't think too much of it, City Lord Yi. Yan Guan then looked at Susu's master. Elder Fan, why don't you call Luo Susu here? We can use this opportunity to find a good home for her. Yan Guan was a bit scared. If Yi Qichao was brought here too, then things wouldn't be so easy. To be honest, if Fan Lianzhu wasn't domineeringly fighting against Yemo, he didn't want to have conflicts with Yemo. Yemo was such a young level 7 Pill King and the Vice City Lord of Pill City. His future was limitless. Why would he have conflict with such a person? Although the Infinity Sect's proposal gift was enticing, Yemo's origin was big too. Yemo wasn't simple himself. It was good if Susu could marry Yemo. But Fan Lianzhu's personality was too straightforward and created this awkward situation. Fan Lianzhu also seemed to know that her words weren't appropriate before. Yemo was young and weak, but his background was too strong. The Black Eye Sect indeed couldn't offend him. She didn't like Yemo but didn't say anything. Now that Yan Guan asked about Luo Susu, she could only say, Susu is still in solitary cultivation, she hasn't finished yet. Yan Guan breathed easy and laughed. In that case, let's put this thing aside and watch the battle of the young prodigies of our sect. Our sect members can also get a chance of receiving a few pointers from the many Qianbais here. When Sai looked at Yemo and flames almost spewed out of her eyes. There was no way she wasn't jealous of Susu having such a genius husband, but Yemo talking about her marrying a dog made her angry and embarrassed. She wanted to kill Yemo. Yang Feiqing knew that in this situation, it was impossible to forcefully take away Luo Susu, so he could only say coldly, City Lord Yi is right and we should indeed consider Luo Susu's opinion, but we've already brought our proposal gift. How come I don't see City Lord Ye's proposal gift? Plus, even if you took out your proposal gift now, we, Infinity Sect, brought it up first. Are you trying to go against the Infinity Sect intentionally? Yeah. He's already Vice City Lord of Pill City. Of course he needs to fight with us 9-star sects. Otherwise, how come you just mentioned this, Sect Leader Yang, and then Pill King Yi mentioned it too? Lightning Cloud Sect Leader Wang Chuanhe said. Haha. Yemo laughed. Sect Leader Yang, you're right. How come I just mentioned to Sect Leader Yan of Black Eye Sect about Susu and you intervened? Oh, if you don't believe me, you can ask Sect Leader Yan who asked about Susu first. Seeing everyone look at him, Yan Guan was annoyed at Yang Feiqing looking for trouble, but he couldn't lie, so he could only nod. When City Lord Yi first saw me, he indeed mentioned Susu. Hearing this, everyone looked at Yang Feiqing. Many people realized that it wasn't Yemo looking for trouble but Yang Feiqing. Many people knew about the conflict between Yemo and Lightning Cloud Sect, and now they wondered, since when did Yemo become enemies with the Infinity Sect? This City Lord Ye's trouble-causing capabilities were on par with his pill concoction abilities. Yang Feiqing's face sunk. What is City Lord Ye's proposal gift? Yemo smiled calmly. I've only been in pill concoction for 10 years and I'm already a level 7 pill king. If I say I will become level 9 pill king in 10 years, I don't think anyone would doubt me. Everyone was silent at these words as they all knew Yemo wasn't lying. The hardest breakthrough wasn't level 7 to level 9 but level 3 to level 4 and level 6 to level 7. Yemo was a level 7 pill king now, so reaching level 9 was just a matter of time. Other people may take thousands of years to do this, but Yemo was an anomaly. So what? At least you're not a level 9 pill king now. An Earth Demon Sect elder stood up and said. Yemo sneered. What thing are you? Do you have the right to talk when I'm speak? Piss off. You. The elder's face was green, but he really couldn't say anything. Although they were just a 6-star sect, they were invited here by Infinity Sect. This place wants Pill City, yet Yemo was being so cocky, even telling him to piss off. Even Yan Guan's face changed. This wasn't just slapping Earth Demon Sect's face but also Black Eye Sect's face. This was on their land. Yemo saw that Yen Guan was going to speak, but he immediately said to Lu Wuhu, "Brother Lu, another fly here, throw him out please. We can drink again." Lu Wuhu was hoping for this. After this, it would mean he only needed to help Yemo attack one more time. Then he only owed Yemo one favor. Lu Wuhu reached out a cultivation essence giant hand and grabbed that elder, throwing him off Black Ice Peak. Yen Guan ate the words he was going to say. His face was red with anger, but he could only hold it in. But Yemo saluted with his fists to Yen Guan. "Sorry, sect leader Yen, I was too impulsive just then. Please forgive me. After this, I will apologize to sect leader Yen." Yen Guan waved his hand and said, "You're being too polite, City Lord Yi." Yen Guan could only suck it up, and Yemo apologized too. "City Lord Yi is so domineering, he just said one thing and you threw him out. This is indeed the character of the Pill City." Yang Feiqing was shaking with anger, but there was nothing he could do. Yemo looked at him and smiled. "Does sect leader Yang feel the air is too stuffy here as well?" Lu Wuhu's eyes lit up immediately hearing this. He hoped Yemo would say to throw Yang Feiqing out as well. Yang Feiqing was disaster transformation state power, but facing truth realization state middle stage peak Lu Wuhu, he could put up no resistance. Lu Wuhu was a man-man. No one dared to mess with him, but this man-man was currently Yemo's henchman. If he really got thrown out, he would be done for. Infinity Sect would decline from this, and he might as well die. He just sneered and didn't say anything. Yemo smiled and continued. "By the way, where were we? I forgot, a fly just flew out." He was just threatening Yang Feiqing. He didn't dare to really throw him out. Lu Wuhu only had one more time of attacking for him, but even if there were countless times, he couldn't force Infinity Sect to the edge of the cliff right now. If he really pissed off a 9-star sect, and they killed him now, would the Pill City get revenge for a dead Pill King? They would at most just kill the main culprit. They wouldn't fight a 9-star sect to the death. "You said just then you would become a level 9 Pill King 10 years later?" That Heaven Demon Sect's woman smiled and reminded Yemo. Yemo smiled and saluted with his fists. "Thanks for your reminder, sister. Next time I will concoct pills for you for free." The woman just didn't like the Infinity Sect and Lightning Cloud Sect forming the South Alliance. Yemo said the words she wanted to say and she was grateful to Yemo. Thus, she helped Yemo too, but because of that, she got such a huge reward. She was overjoyed. She immediately got up and said to Yemo, "Li Yao, thanks City Lord Yi, please come be a guest at our sect when you have time. We will pour flowers to welcome you." Other sect cultivators looked at Li Yao in envy. If they knew this earlier, they would have done the same. But some sects didn't think like that. Sword Valley was just annihilated. Only Li Yao dared to help Yemo as she was also from a 9-star sect. Other sect cultivators looked at Li Yao in envy. If they knew this earlier, they would have done the same. But some sects didn't think like that. Sword Valley was just annihilated. Only Li Yao dared to help Yemo as she was also from a 9-star sect. Yemo then said, "After I become a level 9 Pill King 10 years later, I can help Black Eye Sect concoct 2 cauldrons of truth realization pills. I believe Black Eye Sect can afford these 10 years, right? That's just a part of the proposal gift. Second is that I can give the concoction method of spirit weaving pill to Black Eye Sect's pill master, and I can even provide Heaven Glory pills to Black Eye Sect with priority. As for spirit ranges, if Black Eye Sect wants some, I can go borrow a few." Everyone gasped for breath. It seemed that Yemo was bluffing when he said he would borrow a few spirit ranges, but it was very simple. With his support from Pill City, it was very easy to take out a few low-grade spirit ranges from Pill City. Yemo's proposal gift was countless times better than Infinity Sect's. Infinity Sect took out just one spirit range, but Yemo took out a spirit weaving pill recipe. This recipe was enough for Black Eye Sect to benefit immeasurably. It was like the difference of giving people money and teaching them how to make money. The Infinity Sect elder sneered. "It's all hollow." Yemo smiled and didn't say anything. he believed Black Eye Sect's sect leader wasn't dumb. Hearing this, even Yen Guan took a cold breath in. He didn't believe EMO was bullshitting. Even if EMO couldn't become a level 9 pill king 10 years later, he could concoct body condensation state to cauldron filling state pill quin filling pills. Even a few cauldrons of that was enough for Black Eye Sect. It was uncertain if the truth realization pill from Infinity Sect would create a truth realization state cultivator, but EMO could bring a constant supply of pills. It was easy to judge which was better. The Infinity Sect elder saw Yen Guan's face and knew that their gift had lost. Before Yen Guan said anything, he quickly said, "In that case, we'll fight to be her husband like for Wen Sai." EMO sneered. Wen Sai chose that method herself. Luo Susu didn't bring that up. You have no right to say that, only Susu can decide. Now that both sides provided proposal gifts, Yen Guan preferred Yemo's proposal gift more. He wasn't able to reach disaster transformation state peak stage, and his divine damnation would be ready in a short time. Yemo's timing of 10 years later was perfect. Even if he wasn't able to concoct it, he could ask some Pill City Pill King Qian Bei to do this. Yen Guan didn't doubt that at all. But Infinity Sect was also a 9-star sect whose power was much stronger than Black Eye Sect. It wasn't good to offend them as well. Yen Guan looked around and knew that only he could make up the mind. He quickly looked at Fan Lianzhu and said, "Elder Fan, how about you call Luo Susu over here?" Fan Lianzhu said stubbornly, "Susu is in solitary cultivation, she can't be disturbed. She's my disciple. I don't want my disciple to marry an useless person. We'll do as Infinity Sect proposed, fight to be the husband. If Wen Sai can choose that, why can't Susu? I'm sure that even if Susu leaves solitary cultivation, she wouldn't reject." She then looked at Yemo plainly. "City Lord Yi, you're some significant figure, right? I don't think you would be scared to fight for Susu?" She was very annoyed and angry at Yemo being disrespectful to her. She was a genius-like person as well. Even those with higher power than her would call her elder, and she was now the peak leader of Black Cloud Peak. Since when did someone say bullshit to her? She didn't want Susu to marry someone like this. Last time, when Sai said that she wanted her husband to be a worldly prodigy, so she chose this method of finding a husband. My disciple Susu is equally ranked first with her. I don't think City Lord you would think Susu is not as good Sai, so you don't dare to fight over her? Fan Lianzhu asked, fearing that Yemo wouldn't agree. She didn't dare to be domineering anymore. Even Infinity Sect was unable to do anything the hard way, so she could only play with words. Of course Yemo wouldn't think Susu wasn't as good as Wen Sai, but he sneered. Whether or not I'm useless, people can discuss themselves. No matter how much I say myself, it's just boasting. Even in fighting, I'm no weaker than anyone. But I'm only Hollow Spirit State Level 1, are you going to call an ancient being to fight me? Don't worry, those fighting you won't be much older than you. Susu is my disciple, I won't let her marry an old man. You're not the only genius on Luoyu continent, there will be plenty. Same rules as Wen Sai's rules, they'll all be geniuses within 60 years of age. Fan Lianzhu said coldly. Yemo didn't argue. Although 60 was quite old to Yemo, in the cultivation realm it was just the beginning. He believed that if he couldn't even beat a cultivator younger than 60, the three-birth chant wasn't deserving of its name. He wasn't sure if there were body condensation state cultivators under 60 years of age, but there were definitely hollow spirit state tertiary stage cultivators. Jingyingli was only 30 and already hollow spirit state level 1. If there was some cultivator like Jingyingli, he would be able to reach hollow spirit state peak stage for sure. Okay, since City Lord Yi agrees to this, then we'll do that, Yen Guan quickly said. Wen Sai stood out and bowed to Yang Feiqing and then Yen Guan. Yen Qianbei, there's no right for Wan Bei to talk here, but it concerns my entire life. Please allow me to bring a suggestion. Yen Guan nodded. Sai, say anything you like. You'll be one of us too, it's fine. Wen Sai bowed again before saying, since Martial Sister Susu is choosing husband from a fight like me, I think we should put the two competitions together. All the Prodigy sect members of the big sects are here with their sections. I think the contestants shouldn't be limited to Black Ice sect members. Any Prodigy as long as he's young enough can participate. If Wanbei and Marshall Sister Susu find someone we like, we can choose ourselves too. What do you think, Yan Qianbei? Yang Feiqing didn't say anything. Yemo already ruined the South Alliance thing, so it was unnecessary for Wen Sai to marry into Black Eye sect. If it was before, Yen Guan would really want the marriage alliance with Infinity sect, but after all these problems, he gave up that idea. Now that Wen Sai brought this up, he was very enthusiastic. Okay, Yen Guan quickly said. Sai, your suggestion is very good. Now that so many prodigies are here at Black Ice Mountain, we can all see the glory of the younger generation. All the prodigies here today can join the competition. As long as Sai and Susu don't mind, you can propose. Hearing this, all the Prodigy sect members grew excited. To them, it was a fortune from their past life to be able to dual cultivate with someone as beautiful as Wen Sai. As for Luo Susu, many people wanted to, but seeing Yemo's actions they knew it was impractical. They knew that even if they beat Yemo, their sect wouldn't let them marry Luo Susu. But Wen Sai was different. She didn't have a husband, and she brought up this method of choosing her husband. Seeing that Lu Wuhu didn't help Yemo say anything, Yan Guan breathed easy. He was scared that Lu Wuhu would be domineering and forcefully take away Luo Susu. In order to preserve their face, they could only fight with Lu Wuhu. Even if they won, the result wouldn't be what Yan Guan wanted. Seeing that Lu Wuhu didn't help Yemo say anything, Yan Guan breathed easy. He was scared that Lu Wuhu would be domineering and forcefully take away Luo Susu. In order to preserve their face, they could only fight with Lu Wuhu. Even if they won, the result wouldn't be what Yan Guan wanted. They would also be offending Pill City in the process. After Elder Fan brought up the tournament, Yemo didn't let Lu Wuhu forcefully attack and Lu Wuhu didn't stand up himself. This made Yan Guan breathe easy and guess the relationship between the two. If their relationship was really as Yemo said, then Lu Wuhu should have said something. Yan Guan saw this detail, and so did people from other sections. They were all ancient beings. Yemo was so dominant before, but when Elder Fan brought up the competition to decide Luo Susu's husband, Yemo didn't rebuke her. The only explanation was that Yemo didn't have enough power to back him up, or Yemo was too impulsive and was tricked by Elder Fan. Yemo agreed because he didn't like Wen Sai trying to challenge Susu before, saying that Susu wasn't as good as her. So he was going to make Wen Sai open her eyes and see how much better Susu's husband was than the man she was going to choose. But it was indeed also because he didn't have the power to say no. Pill City was powerful, but it was only a threat. If he tried to forcefully take away Bei Wei and Susu and force these 9-star sects into a corner, then a fight would break out. As long as someone held Lu Wuhu down, he would be instantly killed. After he died, what could the Pill City do? Yemo knew that if he continued to be dominant he would anger 9-star sects for sure. He Ling already attacked him, and he would have died if it wasn't for Lu Wuhu. At the same time, Yemo felt he miscalculated. He should have invited Yu Qichao. Then, no one would dare to say anything if he tried to take away Susu and Bei Wei. It all came down to power. His power was low and his connections weren't enough. He was only a level 7 Pill King. He didn't have Yu Qichao and Shen Guanqing's power and connections. If they were here, perhaps with a single word 9-star sects would help them. Since the competition was necessary, Yemo thought of it as getting back at Wen Sai for Susu. But he wasn't an idiot. Since he agreed to the competition, he couldn't keep giving them that much proposal gift. Yemo got up and said again, "Sect Leader Yan, since you choose the competition, then I will take back my proposal gift. I don't believe every sect who participates in the competition will give as much I as gave. Since Sect Leader Yan agreed to the competition, then it means you're giving up my proposal gift. Everyone needs to be equal. I don't think that just because the Black Eye sect thinks the Pill City is wealthy, I have to pay more in terms of a proposal gift to join the participants. Of course, I don't mind giving more for my proposal gift, but I don't believe the Black Ice sect would take my proposal gift and still make me fight for Susu. Hearing this, Yen Guan was dazed. The reason he agreed to this competition was because regardless of whether Emo won or lost, the proposal gift would be theirs. He had already calculated this. He didn't want to offend Infinity Sect, so let Pill City offend them. If Emo won, then no problem, and that was the most satisfying result. But if Emo lost to an ordinary 7-star or 8-star sect, Emo know that those sects won't dare to fight over Susu with Emo, so Susu would eventually be taken away by Emo. If Emo lost to a 9-star sect or even Infinity Sect or Lightning Cloud Sect, with how important Susu was to Emo, he would bargain heavily over her. Number 9-star sect could compete with Pill City, so Susu would eventually be taken away by Emo, and he would still get the proposal gift. But now Emo said the proposal gift was no more. How could that be? But he just agreed to this, and now he couldn't regret. He turned around and glared at Fan Lianju coldly. If she just agreed to let Emo take away Susu, there wouldn't be so much trouble. Although they would offend Infinity Sect, but they would connect with Pill City's level 7 Pill King. Fan Lianju calmed down now, and knew what she didn't wasn't good. She had never thought of marrying Susu out. If Emo didn't come, then she wouldn't even marry her to Infinity Sect. She rejected core sect members' proposals already. She agreed to Yang Feiqing because firstly, Emo gave her a bad impression, and secondly since she knew Susu would be taken by Emo eventually, as even the Black Eye sect couldn't fight with Pill City. So in her anger, she agreed with Yang Feiqing. As for agreeing to the competition, it was completely because she was furious Emo said she was bullshitting. She calmed down now and knew what she did didn't benefit the sect at all, but she had already done it. In a room at the Black Cloud Peak, Tang Beiwei looked at Luoying in confusion. Sister Susu, you're already Golden Core State Peak stage. Why did you suddenly come out of solitary cultivation? A pale yellow-dressed woman sat opposite Tang Beiwei. Luoying frowned. I feel restless. It's as though something is about to happen, so I came out. Tang Beiwei heard this and said, Sister Susu, how about I ask Master and we'll go visit Qingxue? Luoying knew Tang Beiwei wanted her to go out and have some fresh air. She smiled sweetly and replied, I'm fine, but we should indeed visit her as well as Luo Fei and Yunzi. Tang Beiwei just wanted to speak when her spirit sense scanned a pink-dressed lady rushing in. Sister Susu, Martial Sister Rong is here. Martial Sister Rong. Luoying and Tang Beiwei got up. Zhao Rong looked at Susu and said desperately, Martial Sister Susu, you've finished solitary cultivation? Yeah, Martial Sister Rong. What happened? Why do you seem very desperate? Luoying asked. Almost all the sects 7-star and above came to Black Ice Peak. I heard it's for when Tsai choosing a husband. But then the news I got wasn't this. I heard the sect leader and Elder Fan are also using this chance to choose a husband for Susu. What do we do? Zhao Rong was worried. She didn't know who Susu's husband was, but she knew she had a husband. Impossible! Susu exclaimed with a pale face. Her master was very nice to her, she would never agree to this. This sort of thing had happened more than once and Master rejected without hesitation. Sister Susu. Tang Beiwei grabbed Luoying's hand worriedly. I'll go see Master, Luoying said adamantly. Zhao Rong grabbed Luoying's hand. People at the Black Ice Hall are all powerful people, you won't be able to get in. Today Infinity sect leader brought a proposal gift, and then Pill City Vice City Lord seemed to have a conflict, and suddenly he wanted to take you away. So, the two started fighting and then the sect leader agreed to choose a husband through competition like when Tsai. Pill City Vice City Lord is here too? Tang Beiwei and Susu rarely went out so they didn't cow Emo was Vice City Lord. Zhao Rong nodded. Yes, he's the person Ning Qingxue is married to. He was the Pill King Tournament number 1. Ning Qingxue was taken away by him on the spot, and the ethereal immortal pawn didn't dare to say anything. I think today might end up the same way. Tang Beiwei and Luoying's hands shook. Now isn't the time to worry, we need to think of a way. Zhao Rong started. Did Ning Qingxue really get taken away by that city lord? Ning Qingxue didn't resist? Luo Ying's tone grew impetuous. Zhao Rong nodded. Yes, she seemed very intimate with that city lord Yi. She was willing. How could she resist? City lord Yi? Tang Bei Wei and Luo Ying asked at the same time. Zhao Rong nodded. Yes, he's EMO. He's not only Pill King Tournament number 1 but the honorary Vice City Lord of Pill City as well. He came to Black Ice Peak today to fight over Martial Sister Susu with Infinity Sect. Susu, Bei Wei, where are you going? Zhao Rong hadn't finished but Susu and Bei Wei had already charged out towards Black Cloud Peak. In the Black Ice Peak Hall, everyone was waiting for the first challenger, but Yemo suddenly walked out and stood in the middle. In the Black Ice Peak Hall, everyone was waiting for the first challenger, but Yemo suddenly walked out and stood in the middle. No one knew what he was going to do. Friends, sect leaders. I've already said and I believe everyone knows that Susu is my wife. I'm standing here today. If anyone dares to try for Susu, then come up by all means. Don't blame me for not being polite. Today is Goddess Wen's blissful day and I came to celebrate too, not to fight. The friend who gets Goddess Wen can challenge anyone, but don't challenge me. Yemo's tone suddenly grew cold. If anyone dares to try for Susu, don't challenge anyone else, just challenge me, I'll take it all. Then Yemo scanned Yang Feiqing and Wang Chuanhe coldly before glaring at Fan Lianzhu as he said word by word. No matter who you are, if you dare to try for Susu, come at me. When Sai's face was green, she was ignored by Yemo again. The hall sunk into a brief silence. Such domineering words. City Lord Yi is really domineering. Infinity Sect's Nan Jinxing wants to test if your power is as dominating as your words. A blue cultivator-robed man flew out. Only Hollow Spirit State level 2, and he dared to challenge him, Yemo sneered. Nan Jinxing came up and then saluted with his fists to the Infinity Sect and Black Eye Sect leaders saying, Injuries are unavoidable in fights. If Wan Bei accidentally injures or kills City Lord Yi, what happens? Humph! Lightning Cloud Sect's Wang Chuan has sneered. If you don't have the power, it serves you right to be killed, otherwise just leave and don't embarrass yourself. Nan Jinseng smiled and bowed. Thank you for your hint, Sect Leader Wang. Wan Bei understands. Then, Nan Jinxing waved his hand and a hexagonal bell floated above his head, while a low-grade cultivation artifact golden dragon sword appeared in his hand. He looked calmly at Yemo. I'm interested in Luo Susu, what are you going to do? A mere Hollow Spirit State level 1 dares to be so cocky. I've long since had enough with you. As you wish. Icy cold chi was emitted from all over Yemo's body. That killing intent rose when Nan Jinxing said he was interested in Luo Susu. Even the other cultivators in the hall could feel Yemo's endless killing intent. Some low-powered cultivators shivered subconsciously. Such powerful killing intent! A few sect leaders were stunned. With this killing intent swooping out, everyone knew that Yemo wasn't just good at pill concoction. Nan Jinxing didn't consider Yemo a threat at all. He just didn't expect Yemo's killing intent to be this intense, and he subconsciously shivered. But before he could move, a monotone ray of purple swept over, that overwhelming killing intent growing more intense. Hua! Mountain! Strike! There was only endless killing intent for those who dared to try for Susu. He used his full-powered illusion Cloud Hua Mountain Strike without hesitation. This was a strike that had no defense, only one attacking with all his might. This strike gathered all his fury. Nan Jinxing saw his opponent hack out a long sword, more like a kitchen knife to be specific. But facing this kitchen knife, he actually felt a sliver of fear. What kitchen knife could emit such terrifying killing intent and purple rays? He subconsciously wanted to use his golden dragon sword, but he saw his cultivation essence slowed down in that instant. What sword technique was this? Nan Jinxing was shaken. But this strike was too fast and too powerful. It was as though if this strike didn't kill him, Yemo would chase him to the ends of the world. No! Nanjinxing howled in despair and felt the purple ray slice down from his brow and then another clank. That was his defense bell. Yemo hacked open his defense bell and killed him. Blood misspewed, Nanjinxing was killed without even being able to release his magic artifact. The hall sunk into silence. He had killed a hollow spirit state level 2 cultivator with one strike, and this was Infinity Sect core disciple Nanjinxing. Not only that, the two halves of the body were suddenly torn apart by the residual sword ray. The sect leaders took a cold breath in. Since when had they seen such a powerful hollow spirit state level 1? Killing a hollow spirit state level 2 with one strike, and this was splitting open the defense bell first, and then cutting him in half from the forehead down. Domineering, too domineering. Just how much anger and terrifying killing intent was needed to explode with such power? The silence lingered for a long time before Yanguan said drily, "The first battle, City Lord Yi wins." Yang Feiqing's face was so bleak that water was about to drip out. He glared at Yemo. He didn't expect Yemo to be this strong. This man must not be left alive. If he matured, how could the Infinity Sect exist? Fan Lianzhu saw this and subconsciously shivered. She regretted her decision even more. Yemo was this powerful at Hollow Spirit State Level 1. If he grew up, who could fight him? This guy was another Chu Jiuyu. "You ambushed him," one elder said in fury. Yemo clutched Zisu tightly and didn't even look at him. He was reminiscing that strike. He had achieved new enlightenment. Heaven Demon Sex Liao suddenly laughed. "Elder, your eyes are really good. Even we didn't see City Lord Yi ambush, but you saw it. How come I saw Nanjinxing challenge City Lord Yi first and release his magic artifact? It seems I'm blind." "Shut up!" Yang Feiqing yelled, and that elder stopped with a red face. He was only cauldron filling state level 1, and Liao was cauldron filling state tertiary stage. Yang Feiqing immediately said to another elder, "Send a messenger flying sword and tell Ming Wujian and Tai Baifei to come." "Yes." The elder immediately sent a messenger flying sword. Ming Wujian and Tai Baifei were the two most excellent Hollow Spirit State cultivators in Infinity Sect. They weren't the strongest in Hollow Spirit State, but they were the youngest Hollow Spirit State cultivators. Tai Baifei was Hollow Spirit State Level 6 and Ming Wujian was Hollow Spirit State Level 7. He was even on the Hollow Spirit State trial tablets. At the same time, Lightning Cloud Sect and a few other sects sent messenger flying swords as well, clearly to gather excellent sect members. Yemo didn't seem to see this and fully comprehended that move before scanning around and saying coldly, "Whoever dares to try for Susu, come up, I'll take it all." At the same time, two women desperately flew over on flying swords at the entrance to the hall. They heard Yemo's voice and charged inside the hall without hesitation. The disciple guarding the entrance was about to stop them, but he was stopped by another cultivator who said, "Wait, they're Luo Susu and Tang Beiwei. Sect leader was asking for them too, let them go in." Yemo also stopped talking and looked at the entrance of the hall with surprise and joy. "Brother! Husband!" Usually, Luoying would rather call Yemo martial brother than husband, but today the joy of reunion was inexpressible. It was like her heart was about to explode. "Beiwei Susu." Yemo's heart softened. As long as they were fine, then all was good. No matter what happened, he could take them away. He was scared to not even be able to see them. At this moment, his anger towards Fan Lianzhu lessened. If her master purposely targeted Susu, she wouldn't be able to see him. Luoying rushed into Yemo's arms, and even Tang Beiwei came up and hugged Yemo's arm. Nothing could compare with the joy of reunion, nothing could express their feelings right now. To Yemo, he knew Susu was at Black Eye Sect, but he couldn't come and take her away. That insulting and oppressive feeling was inexplicable. No one understood it. He cultivated like crazy, risking his life, but he was still so far from those ancient beings. Before the Pill King tournament, he was worse than an insect. Now that the woman of his life was in his arms, Yemo's mood was soothed. What other pity was there when he took her back to Pill City? Many people were still immersed in Yemo's dominating strike, but now they were dazed by Yemo's soft feelings. Many people were still immersed in Yemo's dominating strike, but now they were dazed by Yemo's soft feelings. The bloody body was still on the ground, but then there was this scene of reunion. It seemed very unharmonious. Fan Lianzhu saw her disciple, who usually never showed any expression to male cultivators, being so intimate with Yemo. She didn't understand. Even if Yemo was her husband, she shouldn't be like that. Susu was in the cultivation realm now. Her mortal ties should have been faint if not completely severed. Even in the cultivation realm, men and women got together mostly for dual cultivation. She really didn't understand that joy of reunion. Yemo no longer had the mood to challenge and pulled Susu and Beiwei back to his seat. Susu and Beiwei spoke with Yemo for a long time before calming down. Now Susu saw what happened in the hall and began to worry. But then she and Tang Beiwei saw her master and sect leader. They were going to greet them, but Yemo stopped them. Don't go now. Luo Susu respected her master, but if she had to choose between her master or Yemo, she would choose Yemo without hesitation. So she sat down. Tang Beiwei didn't move either. Fan Lianzhu saw this and sighed. She knew she was wrong. She thought Susu would listen to her for sure, but now she knew that in her disciple's heart her status was far lesser than this city lord Yi. Susu, Beiwei, Luo Fei called. Luo Fei, how are you here too? Tang Beiwei just saw Luo Fei and asked. The hall wasn't as silent as before and there were people cleaning up the mess. But no one dared to speak while Yemo was talking. What? Sword Valley was annihilated by Infinity Sect? What about Sister Z? Tang Beiwei asked in shock. Tang Beiwei's voice was too loud and almost the entire hall heard her. If someone else dared to do this, they would have been reproached or killed by He Ling. But no one said anything. Yan Feiqing's face was bleak as usual. He could only kill Yemo through challenge, nothing else. Luo Fei and them glared at Infinity Sect and said word by word. Yes, I will get justice from my sect. Yemo didn't say anything. He knew he could only protect him and the few people around him for now. He was still too far from getting revenge from Infinity Sect. Yan Guan saw this and breathed easy. He knew that those who would challenge Yemo now were either idiots, or those who had a feud with Yemo. Yan Guan suddenly up and said, Since City Lord Yi has gone down, those who want to fight please come up. The competition continues. No one came out for a long time. Many were shocked by Yemo's magnificent strike. In this awkward moment, a Black Eye sect disciple got up and bowed to Yan Guan and the elders as well as the sect leaders before saying, Wanbei Black Eye sect's disciple Zhan Shuiyong, I've long admired Infinity Sect's Goddess Wen. I agree to Goddess Wen's decision. Those who have the same idea as me can come up and challenge me. Zhan Shuiyong was ordinary looking and seemed scholarly. Zhan Shuiyong didn't even look at Wen Sai. Clearly, he didn't come for Wen Sai. He just didn't want his sect leader to be in an awkward situation. He was nascent soul state level 5 and very young, but clearly it was impossible for him to get Wen Sai. Wen Sai understood this as well and glared at Yemo and Luo Susu. There was this inexplicable anger in her heart. Yemo had been using her as an excuse from the start. Then, he killed Nen Jinxing from her sect with one strike for Luo Susu and was being all lovey-dovey with Luo Susu now. Yemo was not only Pill City's city lord but also a level 7 Pill King as well as someone who could easily kill those with higher cultivation levels than him. Compared to those prodigies admiring her, Yemo was a genius amongst geniuses. Even with how talented Yuan Guanan was, he was killed by Yemo in the Truth Fall Palace. From this, it was easy to tell that Yemo was much better than Yuan Guanan. She was ranked equally first with Luo Susu in the South Peace State 10 Beauties. Now that Yemo was Susu's husband, clearly no matter who won this competition, he wouldn't be as good as Yemo. She once publicly said that Luo Susu did not deserve to be ranked equally first with her, but now her husband was so much better than her. This was slapping her face. And even Zhan Shuiyong didn't come up for her. She was more unhappy. She once swore that no matter who Luo Susu's husband was, she would steal him and then kick him back. but now she no longer had that faith. City Lord Yi wasn't interested in her the least bit, he was even disgusted by her. Heaven Yen Sex Wang Duten Brother Jean, please go easy. Another nascent soul state level 6 came out. Clearly he didn't come for Wen Sai. It wasn't that Wen Sai was unattractive to him, but he knew that it was impossible to get Wen Sai with his power. Wang Duten was a 7-star core sect member, and had reached nascent soul state level 6 in less than 60 years. This was rather good talent. He wanted to challenge Zhang Shuyong because he wanted to know the difference between him and 9-star sect members at the same cultivation level. The fight between the two was a completely friendly practice fight, so it seemed very flashy, but there was no killing intent. Even though they were big sect core disciples, Yemo really didn't have the interest to watch this sort of fight. Zhang Shuyong was smart and cunning. Compared to Wang Duten, who focused on cultivation, his fighting experience and cultivation level was a little weaker. In about 8 minutes, he was hacked out by Wang Duten and lightly injured. He lost. Zhang Shuyong didn't come for Wen Sai, so it didn't that he lost, but at the door of Black Eye Sect, a core disciple was kicked out and injured. This immediately made other core disciples unhappy. Before Wang Duten went down, another Black Eye Sect nascent soul state level 6 cultivator flew up and said, "Brother Wang is good, Zhang Wu comes to learn of your mastery." Then, before Wang Duten could reply, a hammer-shaped magic artifact was released. Different than before, it wasn't just a practice fight. Zhang Wu attacked with full power. Sword chi and hammer shadows filled the hall. The Black Eye Sect's cauldron filling state elders quickly set up some restrictions. Wang Duten wasn't as good as Zhang Wu and already had fought before. In less than 7 minutes, he was sent flying and splitting blood. A nascent soul state tertiary stage from Heaven Yen saw this and immediately stood up, wanting to get back. But an elder stopped him in time, clearly knowing that if this continued, the fight between Yemo and Nanjin Xing might start again. Other than Zhang Shuyong, the other people didn't even mention Wen Sai. Clearly they didn't come to fight for her. Wen Sai's face was very bad. She was South Peace State's #1 beauty, but was ignored to this extent. Luckily, not long after, a Godwind Valley nascent soul state level 9 cultivator walked out. He saluted with his fist to Zhang Wu and said, "Godwind Valley Yutong came for Goddess Wen, Brother Wu, please." Zhang Wu was just here to get revenge for Zhang Shuyong, and then he was planning to go down. Now that Yutong came up for Wen Sai, he knew he wasn't a match for Yutong, so he saluted with his fists. "Brother Yu is already nascent soul state tertiary stage. I don't think I can beat you." Zhang Wu was just here to get revenge for Zhang Shuyong, and then he was planning to go down. Now that Yutong came up for Wen Sai, he knew he wasn't a match for Yutong, so he saluted with his fists. "Brother Yu is already nascent soul state tertiary stage. I don't think I can beat you." Then he left. After Zhang Wu went down, some core disciples of big sects came to fight. They had really come for Wen Sai. The scene heated up, and finally Wen Sai wasn't in an awkward situation anymore. Yemo didn't watch the matches, his mind was focused on Luoying. If it wasn't that he couldn't leave now, he would have left with Luoying already. 6 hours later, a terrifying explosion made Yemo and them look up a little. The two fighting were Hollow Spirit State power, one Hollow Spirit State level 5 and one Hollow Spirit State level 7. The Hollow Spirit State level 5 was from Black Eye Sect and the Hollow Spirit State level 7 was from Nangong Village. Nangong Village was an 8-star sect. Yemo didn't care about this sect, but after hearing Shan Bingfeng's words, he started being attentive to this sect. They were a 9-star village before and called Fish Jump Through Dragon Gate Village. He was planning to go visit it when he was powerful enough. Now, he had met a cultivator from there. The Nangong Village cultivator was clearly more powerful than the Black Eye Sect cultivator. He had beaten the Black Eye Sect cultivator to the point of heavy injury. Seeing this, the Black Eye Sect elders and sect leaders' faces seemed very bad. The competition was brought up by Black Eye Sect and Infinity Sect, but now, Black Eye Sect had completely lost. Their last hollow spirit state level 5 disciple was beaten. Nothing was more embarrassing than this as a host. They were losing their wife to other sects in front of all these big sections. But there was nothing they could do. While they did have more powerful sect members, they were older than 60 years. Even other sects didn't understand. Nangong Village was just an 8-star sect. Even if they were going to beat a Black Ice sect member, they didn't have to do it that way. Seeing Emo stare at that Nangong Village cultivator, Mijinjia sound transmissioned. That is Nangong Village's prodigy sect member Nangong Ihui. He's Hollow Spirit State level 7 and ranked 39th on the Hollow Spirit State trial tablet. He has won 12 rounds in a row. Emo nodded. He didn't expect Nangong Village to be this confident, and not give any respect to Black Ice sect. A Black Ice sect elder was the announcer, and so he had to announce. Nangong Village's Nangong Ihui claims victory. Anyone else want to challenge Nangong Ihui for Goddess Win? The elder asked a few times and no one replied. Clearly those core disciples lost the courage to fight after seeing Nangong Ihui's power. Nangong Ihui raised his lips showing great confidence. He looked at Wen Sai and his eyes were full of joy. Clearly to him, Wen Sai was his. But then, another square-faced cultivator walked out. Nangong Ihui had never been able to encounter an opponent. He saw it was a Hollow Spirit State level 6 cultivator, and his eyes immediately lit up. I was troubled that no one could give me a proper fight. Friend, you came at the right time. Release your magic artifact. I'll let you have 3 moves first. Nangong Ihui waved his crescent blades. That square-faced cultivator said indifferently. You're no match for me. I'm not challenging you. Move aside. No one had dared to say such a thing up until now, and Nangong Ihui's face immediately went cold. If it wasn't that his elders repeatedly said he couldn't do what Emo did and hack an enemy apart, he would have done that already. But pity, the elders said he must not kill here. This square-faced cultivator's words made him want to kill him. Then let's see how I'm not a match for you. Nangong Ihui released his crescent blades. As soon as they was released, they made a piercing sound that brought circle-like sword light that enveloped the square-faced cultivator. The rings seemed to increase endlessly. The people around knew how powerful this move of Nangong Ihui was. The crescent rings were very eerie. It was very hard to escape after being enveloped by them. Nangong Ihui was not allowed to kill here, or rarely anyone would be able to escape with their lives. That square-faced cultivator's face changed when he was trapped by the white blade circles, but he sneered and used a few hand signs. A red mist appeared around him, and the white blade rings started to dissipate. Moments later, he had completely broken free. A big bell appeared above his head and he said coldly to Nangong Ihui, You have the right to fight with me. But before Nangong Ihui said anything, a young cultivator came up. He seemed much more handsome and easygoing than the square-faced cultivator. He stopped the square-faced cultivator and saluted with his fists to Nangong Ihui. Sai is our martial sister. We're not here to fight over her with you. This is my martial brother Tai Baifei. He admires Goddess Susu's beauty and that's why he came. Martial brother Nangong, you wouldn't be interested in Goddess Susu as well, right? Nangong Ihui quickly waved his hand. No, how can I? I'm only interested in Goddess Win. Hearing Nangong Ihui's reply, the smiling youth was a little disappointed, but he still said, Now that there's no one challenging you, my martial sister is just there. You can go talk to her. Okay, sorry for being rude before. Nangong Ihui just realized this was Goddess Wen's martial brother. If he offended him, it wouldn't be good for the future. He was Hollow Spirit State level 7 and thought he was the #1 genius, yet he called Hollow Spirit State level 6 Tai Baifei martial brother. Clearly, he loved Wen Sai too much. After Nangong Ihui left, that smiling youth looked at him in contempt before patting that square-faced cultivator's shoulder without saying anything. However, it was clear to everyone that they came to start trouble and maybe even kill Yemo. Yenguan realized that the Infinity Sect indeed didn't want to let Yemo go. It seemed there was quite the conflict between them. Otherwise, they wouldn't call 2 masters from the sect. From Infinity Sect to here, they came in such a short time. Even if there was a teleportation formation, they would need top-grade space transmission runes. If the Infinity Sect really killed EMO here, then Black Eye Sect would need to take a part of Pill City's fury. Those people who had a good impression of EMO started to sigh for him, and those angry at EMO started to rejoice at EMO's impending doom. After the two left, the square-faced cultivator said loudly, "Infinity Sect's Tai Baifei admires Black Eye Sect's Luo Susu. I came here to challenge. I'm waiting for anyone who likes Goddess Susu." Susu looked at EMO in confusion. She was already with EMO, why did someone else say that? Luckily they couldn't tell Tai Baifei's power or they would be very worried and stop EMO from fighting. No one looked favorably at EMO. EMO was powerful, but the difference between him and Hollow Spirit State level 6 was too great. That Tai Baifei was on par with Hollow Spirit State level 7 Nengong Yihui, and everyone saw Nengong Yihui's power. Even Lu Yao sighed. She had just connected with EMO, and he was about to die. Even if she wanted to help EMO, there was nothing she could do. EMO comforted the two girls and walked up to Tai Baifei and released Zisu. He didn't say anything, but his killing intent began to soar. Zisu also hummed as though being more keen on this battle than EMO. "You're EMO?" Tai Baifei sneered and then looked at EMO contemptuously. "You're a mere Hollow Spirit State level 1. Nanjin Xing really wasted his years of cultivation cultivating like a dog." "You're EMO?" Tai Baifei sneered and then looked at EMO contemptuously. "You're a mere Hollow Spirit State level 1. Nanjin Xing really wasted his years of cultivation cultivating like a dog," EMO said calmly. "Soon you will realize that you haven't been cultivating like a human as well." EMO hacked out Illusion Cloud Formation Kill Strike. Although his understanding of Illusion Cloud Hua Mountain Strike was a level higher now, he knew that it was impossible to kill a master like Tai Baifei in one move. Countless purple rays flew out and completely enveloped Tai Baifei. Tai Baifei sneered and waved his hand. That huge bell started spinning above his head. Eventually, Yemo's purple sword rays clashed with the bell's shadows, creating intense clanking sounds. "You have some power indeed." Tai Baifei waved his hand and a pale red longsword landed in his hand. At the same time, it turned into a red mist. It felt eerie that a huge man was using a red flying sword. But suddenly Yemo felt it seemed to be cold. Suddenly Yemo felt the space before him turning a blizzard, but the sky was covered with red snowflakes. The snowflakes weren't hexagonal but triangular. It was just a wave of snowflakes, but they were like ice pillars to Yemo. They were bone-chilling and squeezed the space around him, giving less space to move around, as though in the end he would be crushed by the snowflakes. Everyone could just see red snowflakes flying about in the hall, and the hall turning extremely cold. Tai Baifei danced with his long sword as though the ruler of this icy world. Meanwhile, Yemo had disappeared amongst the snowflakes. Only a few purple sword rays that seeped out made people feel that Yemo was still alive. Seeing Yemo in this predicament, Fan Lianzhu sighed. She wasn't sighing for Yemo but for Luo Susu. She knew how important this city lord Yu was to Susu just by seeing her reaction, but now the two just met and he was about to be killed. Personally, she liked Yemo being killed, but she really liked her disciple Susu far more than Tang Beiwei. Yan Guan frowned. He was beginning to think of how to explain to the Pill City and bring Black Eye Sect out of this mess if Yemo was killed. Liu Yao closed her eyes. She had seen Tai Baifei's sword technique. This blood snowflake was extremely powerful and eerie. Any cultivator trapped by the snowflakes would be killed. This was because the cultivator's spirit sense and cultivation essence would get wasted more and more. If he couldn't break free right from the start, there was an even lesser chance of him breaking free later on. When cultivating to the extreme, the snowflakes were hexagonal, but Tai Baifei's snowflakes were only triangular. Even so, they were still very powerful. Yemo just needed this moment of time and hacked out Illusion Cloud Hua Mountain Strike straightforward and fearless. With this strike, the entire hall was covered in purple. This purple was not only pretty and enticing but also seemed to have come from heaven. Some female cultivator looked at that purple ray and closed their eyes in adoration. Almost all weak-powered cultivators just wanted to have this purple ray and not think about anything. Tai Baifei felt that purple ray sweep past his head, and he heard his bones crack and his body crumble. He barely opened his eyes and looked at Yemo, speaking softly. Such a pretty purple ray. Then, he fell down and his body broke into pieces. Yemo put away Zisu and closed his eyes. He entered a new palace of sword Dao. He created a new sword technique. He learned this from Tai Baifei's blood snowflakes. After a moment, Yemo opened his eyes and murmured, "Pinching flower purple ray, the heavens are only an inch away." His strike was like a pinch of flowers, silent. When people thought this was a sword ray from the heavens, the sword ray was only an inch away. Even if they were killed, they were willing. The illusion Cloud Hua Mountain strike was complete. It wasn't as crude as before. It had become a lethal blow. Everyone took a cold breath in. No one understood this strike, but those above cauldron-filling state knew the terror of Yemo's strike. Even Yang Feiqing stared at Yemo with a face of shock and horror. He even forgot his anger, forgot another prodigy sect member was killed by Yemo. He was thinking that Yemo was only hollow spirit state level 1, and this powerful. When he was disaster transformation state, or even truth realization state, who would be able to stop him? At this moment, all the sect leaders were shocked, not that Yemo was able to kill hollow spirit state level 6 Tai Baifei, but due to that purple ray. For almost half a minute, the hall was in complete silence. Killing someone above your cultivation level wasn't rare, but what was terrifying was Yemo's silent strike. For almost half a minute, the hall was in complete silence. Killing someone above your cultivation level wasn't rare, but what was terrifying was Yemo's silent strike. Some people could tell that Yemo used the same strike to kill Tai Baifei and Nan Jianxing, but it had a completely different effect. Almost everyone thought Yemo was going to lose for sure, and he would be killed by Tai Baifei, but instead Yemo killed Tai Baifei. Only a few disaster transformation state and higher masters saw that Yemo used another attack before using illusion Cloud Hua Mountain Strike. It caused that pause in Tai Baifei's movements. Yan Guan took a cold breath in. He was thinking about how to explain to Pill City City Lord that Yemo was killed, but now there was a turn of events, and Yemo killed Hollow Spirit State Level 6 Tai Baifei. When Sai looked dazedly at Yemo and even forgot to be angry. She knew Yemo was very powerful. Before Yemo fought Nan Jinxing, she thought Yemo was nascent soul state tertiary stage, but he killed Nan Jinxing in one move. Clearly, he was hollow spirit state power. Nan Jinxing said Yemo was hollow spirit state level 1. She was dubious, but she still believed him. However, Yemo killed Tai Baifei now. Tai Baifei was hollow spirit state level 6. A hollow spirit state level 1 wouldn't be able to kill him. When Sai was a prodigy herself, and she was nascent soul state level 2. She knew that even if she wanted to kill nascent soul state level 6, it wouldn't be that easy, maybe even impossible. Was Yemo hollow spirit state tertiary stage? How could that be possible? She soon thought of when they first met. Yemo was only nascent soul state at that time, and he killed Lu Jianqian. Yet how long had it been and he was hollow spirit state tertiary stage? Was there really such a genius in the world? If he really was, then the difference between him and other 9-star sect prodigies was too huge. That smiling youth cultivator wasn't able to react for a long time. He didn't believe that Tai Baifei would be killed by Yemo so cleanly. But after another minute, he finally realized this was reality. Yemo really killed Tai Baifei and his body was turned in a bloody mist. "I'm going to kill you!" That youth cultivator's face snarled, and without hesitation he charged into the middle and released a dark gourd. Yemo knew about the Infinity Sect. They were a sect that focused on sword cultivation, but this youth used a black gourd. "Wu Jian, come back!" an elder yelled, but that cultivator was filled with rage. Yemo sneered. This Wu Jian was hollow spirit state level 7, but he wasn't scared at all. He waved and Zisu appeared in his hand. That young cultivator saw Yimo's actions and forcefully stopped his impulse of running up. He slowed down, and even his face became extremely calm. He then turned around and bowed to Infinity Sect. That elder saw this and breathed easy. From the bottom of his heart, he didn't want that young cultivator to go up. Yimo's performance was too strong, no weaker than any hollow spirit state tertiary stage. Now that this young cultivator calmed down, he wasn't as worried. The only confusion was when Ming Wujian had obtained a gourd magic artifact. That young cultivator let the black gourd float around him and said coldly to Yimo, "You have balls, you dare to kill our Infinity Sect's hollow spirit state core disciple. I'm Infinity Sect's Ming Wujian. Don't worry, I will let you die with my martial brother Tai Baifei. I will take care of that Luo Susu for at least a few years." Yimo's killing intent rose crazily when Ming Wujian talked about Luo Susu. A faint purple mist had already formed around Zisu. Ming Wujian sneered and used a few hand signs. The gourd suddenly made a thunderous rumble and began to expand, becoming 2 meters long and 1 meter wide in size. Yet, it still seemed to be expanding. Yimo looked at the dark gourd's mouth and felt a little uneasy. He felt his spirit sense couldn't scan in at all. Without hesitation, Yimo took out his octagonal cauldron and hacked out. Seeing this, everyone was dazed. It was obvious that the octagonal cauldron was a top-grade defense magic artifact. Yet Yimo didn't even use when he killed Tai Baifei. This guy was a man. Yan Feiqing's face grew bleaker. He felt more and more that he must kill Yimo as early as possible, but he was here with Lu Wuhu today. Other than attacking together, there was no Infinity Sect cultivator that could single-handedly kill Lu Wuhu. No one recognized this octagonal cauldron, but Wen Sai knew it. She saw martial brother Yuan get it in the Truth Fall Palace. She was now even more certain that Yimo killed martial brother Yuan. Ming Wujian saw this and was dazed but ignored it soon. He even didn't care about Yimo's purple sword rays. He waved his hand and countless black lines reached out from his gourd. Those black lines were extremely fast and had an ear-piercing and spirit sense-hurting screech to them. After the first wave of purple sword rays were blocked, more purple sword rays were swept away. Yimo thought of that Emo Qianli he killed in North Far State. His evil soul strands were similar to this, but they had no sound. These ones had screeching sound and were faster. Yimo soon saw that they weren't strands but small bugs. They were all black and not only had wings but also sharp teeth. Strangely, they only had 1 leg each. These bugs were extremely fast and dense. Yimo could only use the octagonal cauldron to protect himself as it spun faster and faster. But the bugs seemed endless, and soon doubled in numbers as they clashed against the octagonal cauldron. Yimo felt it was harder and harder to control the octagonal cauldron. The octagonal cauldron slowed down and thus, its defenses dropped. At this rate, if the octagonal cauldron stopped, he would be swept away by these bugs. He knew that if they all came on him, not even a single bone of him would be left. Yimo was unhappy. He wanted to fight with a cultivator who could take on his illusion cloud strikes and fight head-on in a clash. But no one was able to satisfy him. He killed Nanjin Xing in 1 strike, Tai Baifei used blood snowflakes, and now this Ming Wujian used countless bugs to attack. Yimo used illusion cloud division strike again, but before the purple sword rays formed, they were devoured by those bugs. Such powerful bugs, they could even devour sword rays. Yimo didn't keep using Zisu. His spirit sense was barely able to control the octagonal cauldron, much less control Zisu. The key to illusion cloud was spirit sense. The more powerful the spirit sense, the more powerful the purple sword rays. Yimo had many means and he didn't believe he couldn't deal with these bugs. He used Miss Lotus Heart Fire the next moment. He didn't have a heaven flame cultivation method, but it should be fine to burn these bugs. The cultivators saw Yimo release heaven flame and knew these bugs were done for. Heaven flame could easily burn any bug. Yet Ming Wujian just sneered at this. The Miss Lotus Heart Fire went into the middle of the bugs. Countless bugs fell down, but in a brief moment, more came up. Yemo frowned. He used Miss Lotus Heart fire and burned, and there were indeed some dead, but more weren't dead. Yemo was shocked. What bug was this that even Heaven Flame couldn't burn? Although the level of the Heaven Flame was low, he was sure he could even burn a body condensation state peak stage cultivator to death if he let him. He suddenly thought of a spirit bug that was on thing, and his face turned dark. Fire-eating bug, rank 7th on the rare spirit bugs ranking. They devoured metals and liked devouring all sorts of flames. They grew in flames. Fire-eating bug, rank 7th on the rare spirit bugs ranking. They devoured metals and liked devouring all sorts of flames. They grew in flames. It could be said that they could devour anything, and there was rarely anything that could counter them. Yet Ming Wujian had so many fire-eating bugs. How did he keep them alive? Even though they were the lowest grade, with this many there even a sect wouldn't be able to afford keeping them. This was because they needed to not only devour flames but also large amounts of ores, or else they wouldn't reproduce. The higher their level, the harder it was to keep them. But Ming Wujian's bugs were the lowest level, so they used a lot of resources, but they wouldn't be high level. Even the other sect leader and elders' faces changed when they saw this many fire-eating bugs. They recognized them, and knew their terrifying power when they matured. They're actually fire-eating bugs? Even Lu Wuhu was shocked. Even Yen Guan and other 9-star sect elders were shocked. They thought of the Infinity Sect. The Infinity Sect had such terrifying bugs. If they used the sect's power to raise them, what other sect could stand up to them? If all the fire-eating bugs were released, they could definitely annihilate a sect immediately. But they knew that it was impossible to fully mature all of them. Even getting 1/1000000 mature was extremely hard, but just the name fire-eating bug was enough to strike fear. More than 10,000 years ago, there was a great evil on Luoyu continent. He was the fire-eating bug demon. This person kept countless mature fire-eating bugs. No one could stop him. He annihilated a 9-star sect all by himself just because he liked that location and wanted to use it as his own sect. The 9-star sect rejected him, and in his fury, he annihilated the entire sect. That fire-eating bug demon ravaged for 1,000 years before encountering Chu Jiuyu and being killed. Since then, his fire-eating bugs disappeared too. Now, 10,000 years later, the fire-eating bugs appeared again, and they belonged to Infinity Sect. Yang Feiqing's face was also bleak. He didn't know that his sect member had someone that kept fire-eating bugs. If he knew this, he wouldn't let Ming Wujian fight. He would make these fire-eating bugs Infinity Sect's top secret. Yet, this insolent Ming Wujian not only fought but also used fire-eating bugs immediately. Even if he killed Yemo, other sects wouldn't allow Infinity Sect to keep the fire-eating bugs for themselves. It was hard to keep them, but as long as you had the method and resources, another fire-eating bug demon would appear. Yet Chu Jiuyu was someone who didn't appear for 10,000 years. If there wasn't someone like Chu Jiuyu around, the fire-eating bug demon would be able to do whatever he wanted in the cultivation realm. Yang Feiqing clearly could see that Ming Wujian wasn't used to controlling these bugs. It was very hard for him. Clearly, he either just got these bugs or someone had just taught him. Yemo realized it was no wonder these bugs weren't afraid of his heaven flame. Luckily his heaven flame was red level and could burn some otherwise. If the flame was still yellow, it might instead feed them. Yemo felt his octagonal cauldron get slower and slower. It was already a bit hard for him to use heaven flame and octagonal cauldron at the same time. Yemo couldn't let this continue. He really wanted to use 11 lightning swords. People already knew he killed Tian Alfing. It was no big deal to use it now. But just when he wanted to use it, he saw Ming Wujian's face get pale. His each hand sign and spell was barely able to be used. Ming Wujian didn't keep these bugs, Yemo immediately thought. Otherwise, it wouldn't be this hard for him to control. Thinking about how cunning Ming Wujian was, Yemo wasn't sure if he was putting up this act, so he sent out an extreme-grade spirit artifact flying sword at Ming Wujian. Even with that, his sea of consciousness rumbled. Ming Wujian was shocked to see that Yemo could still use flying sword. But then, he spat another mouthful of essence blood and more fire-eating bugs came out of the black gourd. But soon Yemo saw that the flying sword he sent was rapidly devoured. He exclaimed, "These bugs were too powerful." But now, Yemo no longer intended to use 11 lightning swords. Ming Wujian was unable to control the fire-eating bugs well. He only needed to summon Shadowless to ambush Ming Wujian. Yemo silently let Shadowless out. He wanted to let Shadowless ambush Ming Wujian, but what he didn't expect was as soon as Shadowless came out, he shrieked in excitement. What was this? Yemo was dazed. If he was going to enter the scene in that high-fashioned way, how was he going to ambush? But Yemo saw Shadowless didn't listen to him, and instead dashed into Ming Wujian's black gourd in a golden beam. Yemo was shocked. What was this? But soon, he felt something was wrong. Those fire-eating bugs attacking the octagonal cauldron began to retreat and become chaotic. Some even flew away. Luckily, there was a restriction and they couldn't escape anywhere. The fire-eating bugs blocked by the restriction flew around like flies, but most rushed to that black gourd. Ming Wujian looked at the chaotic fire-eating bugs and shivered, murmuring, "Not a spirit bug, not an immortal. Not number 1 Shadowless Worm. There really is Shadowless Worm." Yemo wasn't struggling like before. He ate a spirit recovery pill and was about to release Zisu. Shadowless didn't go ambush Ming Wujian but instead went into the gourd. That at least helped him. But soon, he stopped using Zisu, not because Ming Wujian was pale-faced and shaking, but because the black gourd was beginning to contort as though it was going to explode. Lu Wuhu took out a jade box and sealed the Li Ming fire inside before looking coldly at Yan Feiqing. Since when in the cultivation realm was it that after a fight, the belongings of the dead would be returned to his sect? How come I heard that the belongings are taken by the victor? The Li Ming fire has been out for a long time. If I, Lu Wuhu, wanted to rob it, I would have long taken it. Do I need to wait till now? Just then, brother, you gave the Li Ming fire to me. Everyone heard this. Are your ears defective, sect leader Yang? Lu Wuhu took out a jade box and sealed the Li Ming fire inside before looking coldly at Yan Feiqing. Since when in the cultivation realm was it that after a fight, the belongings of the dead would be returned to his sect? How come I heard that the belongings are taken by the victor? The Li Ming fire has been out for a long time. If I, Lu Wuhu, wanted to rob it, I would have long taken it. Do I need to wait till now? Just then, brother, you gave the Li Ming fire to me. Everyone heard this. Are your ears defective, sect leader Yang? Everyone knew Lu Wuhu's character. He never made a losing deal but never robbed a Wanbei's things, no matter how good they were. This was why he could earn the respect of the entire cultivation realm. But if you gave him something, it was impossible to earn it back. Everyone heard that Yemo gave the Li Ming flame to Lu Wuhu. Yang Feiqing was furious, but there was nothing he could do. He glared coldly at Yemo. Even the rivers couldn't express his hatred for him. After killing their prodigy Yuan Guannan, he had killed 3 more Infinity Sect Hollow Spirit State prodigies in front of his eyes, but there was nothing he could do. He regretted calling Ming Wujian out. Now the fire-eating bugs were dead. He was annoyed at Ming Wujian for hiding this and not reporting it. On top of that, he foolishly showed it to everyone. But Yang Feiqing wronged Ming Wujian as he had only just got the bugs and didn't know their glorious past. When he got the black gourd and the jade slip introducing the bugs, he was overjoyed. He immediately destroyed the jade slip and focused on feeding them. He even grew rusty on his sword Dao. But he didn't mind. He used the fire-eating bugs in battle a few times. They were invincible. No one knew that he killed a body condensation state level 1 with fire-eating bugs. That's why to him, these bugs were invincible. But the jade slip he got also introduced something else, Shadowless Worm. If the fire-eating bugs encountered Shadowless Worm, they would immediately begin to worry. It also said that the shadowless worm wasn't a spirit bug. It usually wouldn't appear in the cultivation realm, but he was unlucky and encountered the shadowless worm that shouldn't appear in the cultivation realm. Yemo's shadowless worm was hidden, but a few people still saw it. They just weren't sure. With Lu Wuhu standing behind Yemo, no one dared to ask. Although many people were guessing what it was that Yemo released later and flew into the black gourd, they could only think about it. Due to Yemo's arrival, many sects stopped their prodigy sect members. Yemo was too absurd. Only a body condensation state cultivator could surely kill him, but a 60-year-old body condensation state cultivator was too rare. Wang Chuanhe said with a bleak face. Even if Fei Yu and them are here, they're not allowed to fight. They're no match for Yemo. He's not someone who can be killed by a cultivator of the same level. The two cultivators who came from Lightning Cloud sect didn't agree, but their sect leader already said this, so they could only hide. When Sai looked coldly at Yemo until Nangong Yihui was really annoying her. Then she said calmly, "My husband must be number one, but you haven't beaten number one City Lord Yi. I can't love you." Nangong Yihui was dazed. He didn't see Wen Sai kick him away when he came. Why did she want him to challenge City Lord Yi? He didn't consider Yemo a threat before, but now that Yemo killed Tai Baifei and Ming Wujian, he knew Yemo was not weaker than him. Wen Sai sneered and didn't say anything. Nangong Yihui quickly said, "Martial Sister Tsai, that City Lord Yi didn't say he was interested in you." As though feeling his words were inappropriate, he quickly changed to, "That City Lord Yi said those who came for you shouldn't challenge him." Wen Sai's face went cold. "But I like him because he's the strongest. If you can beat him, I can like you immediately. But if you don't even dare to challenge him, and you say you like me, is it not embarrassing?" "I, Wen Sai, like the number one, I only want the number one. If you're scared you can't beat him, I'm not forcing you to go." Then, she couldn't be bothered talking to Nangong Yihui. Nangong Yihui was dazed. He didn't expect this, but looking at Wen Sai, if he didn't go challenge Yemo, he would have no chance at all. Thinking about this, Nangong Yihui nodded. "Okay, I will challenge City Lord Yi. I will make the person who likes you be number one." Wen Sai showed a smile and said softly, "Then be careful, that purple ray of his is very strong." "I know." Nangong Yihui's heart was overjoyed hearing these words from Wen Sai. Yemo wanted to go back to his seat but saw Nangong Yihui quickly stop him. But before Nangong Yihui could speak, an elder from Nangong village yelled, "Yihui, come back first." Nangong Yihui smiled to Yemo. "City Lord Yi, just wait a bit. I'll come fight with you soon. Don't worry, I'm not here for Goddess Susu, I'm here for Tsai." Yemo smiled. He could tell that Nangong Yihui was an idiot, and was being used by Wen Sai to fight with him. Indeed, Nangong Yihui only went back a while, and that elder said to Yemo, "Yihui is injured, he won't be able to fight today, please forgive us City Lord Yi." Yemo scanned casually. Yang Feiqing's face was icy cold. Yemo subconsciously shivered. He estimated that this Yang Feiqing probably wouldn't rest until he killed him. Even with Lu Wuhu, Yang Feiqing might calculate him into part of his schemes too. Yemo scanned casually. Yang Feiqing's face was icy cold. Yemo subconsciously shivered. He estimated that this Yang Feiqing probably wouldn't rest until he killed him. Even with Lu Wuhu, Yang Feiqing might calculate him into part of his schemes too. No, he couldn't continue like this, or he would be at an absolute disadvantage. He wasn't worried about going from Black Eye Sect to Pill City, but of how to get to MOU City after Pill City. Thinking about this, Yemo got up and saluted with his fists to some cultivators. "Sect leaders and elders, it's my honor to be able to gather with you guys here today. When I go back to Pill City, I will be staying there for a month. After that, I will go back to MOU City. In order to thank everyone's support, 1 month later, those friends who can come with me to MOU City and are above cauldron filling state, I will concoct for them a cauldron of pills for free. The pill has to be below heaven grade level 7. Almost all the cultivators stopped their feet and looked at Emo fervently. 1 cauldron of heaven grade level 7 pills. Even truth realization state or disaster transformation states would find it hard for other people to concoct for them, much less cauldron filling state. Pill City lords could help people concoct heaven grade level 7 pills, but were they willing? Even if they were willing, would you be able to pay the price? Many cultivators were thousands of years old and had a large store of spirit herbs. However, the trouble was they didn't have someone to concoct pills for them. Now that Emo gave this promise, it was like gold raining from the heavens. Liu Yao nodded. This was Emo using his natural advantage. There was almost no cauldron-filling state cultivator who wouldn't want this. Before the excitement ended, Emo dropped another bombshell. Everyone knows this, and I've said it before. I believe I can reach level 9 Pill King in 10 years, so I'll promise here again that those friends coming with me to MOU City 1 month later, if their disaster transformation state within 100 years, I can make a cauldron of heaven grade level 9 pills for them. If a truth realization state friend comes with me to MOU City, then after I reach level 9 Pill King, I will make 10 cauldrons for them. He even wanted to pull truth realization state cultivators to MOU City. Emo's words immediately let people realize what was going on. He was trying to get some bodyguards. Despite this, there were quite some people wanting to go with Emo. As long as they went with him to MOU City, they could get a free cauldron from a level 7 Pill King. Who wouldn't want this? City Lord Yi, then we'll go with you to Pill City now and stay in Pill City for a month before going with you to MOU City. How about it? Liu Yao smiled. Emo knew Liu Yao was helping him and immediately saluted with his fists. I would love that, thank you Sister Yao. City Lord Yi, your mouth is really sweet. Liu Yao smiled. Perhaps me and my sex truth realization state elder will go with City Lord Yi. Emo was overjoyed. With Liu Yao's words, many sects had decided to send an elder to Pill City. Infinity Sect's Yang Feiqing's face was very cold. He knew he had miscalculated one thing, and that was Emo's Pill King identity. Emo's level 7 Pill King power was fully showcased here. It was their gathering to pull allies, but now it became a place for Emo to rally support. Yang Feiqing was so angry he was about to spit blood, but there was nothing he could do. He had gotten so many masters to support him here, and if he went to Pill City and called out, there would be a few more truth realization states as well. But the Infinity Sect suffered so greatly at Emo's hands, there was no way he would let Emo go. He also knew that since Infinity Sect annihilated Sword Valley, the feud between them was unable to be resolved. Wang Chuanhe fell silent now. Emo was just hollow spirit state power, and easily dissipated the South Alliance. At the same time, he got so much support. Lightning Cloud Sect only lost 1 Tianalphan. Should they keep fighting with Emo? Infinity Sect fought with Emo and lost 4 Prodigy Sect members already, and Emo was only Hollow Spirit State level 1, but he was almost invincible in Hollow Spirit State. What if he reached Body Condensation State or Cauldron Filling State? Wang Chuanhe, who was adamant on killing Emo, felt his thought wavering. Emo didn't reject any sect who wanted to connect with him. He welcomed all those who wanted to go with him to MOU City. Luoying knew that Emo was going to take them away immediately, so she brought Bei Wei to Fan Lianzhu and bowed. She felt that Emo didn't seem to be friendly to her master, but her master was really nice to her. Fan Lianzhu sighed. Cultivate hard, for you, cultivation is the most important. Yes, master! Luoying was happy that she was able to be with Emo, but she couldn't rebuke her master's words. Fan Lianzhu gave a rainbow handkerchief to Luoying and another pair of cloud boots to Tang Bei Wei before saying, Master doesn't have anything good. I got these 2 cultivation artifacts in my earlier years. Now I'll give them to you. Luoying and Tang Bei Wei took these things and thought, without their master, they wouldn't be in a good situation, and felt quite sentimental about leaving Black Eye Sect. Fan Lianzhu smiled. When your cultivation levels are high, you can come back and visit Master. Especially Susu, if your husband wasn't Pill City Lord and a level 7 Pill King, Master would never let you leave Black Ice Mountain. Yen Guan saw this and breathed easy. He brought a disaster transformation state elder to Yemo and said, City Lord Yi, Yen congratulates you on your reunion with Susu. Elder sure is our disaster transformation state elder and my martial brother. In order to celebrate your return to Mou City, he will come with you. I hope you don't mind. Yemo laughed. Of course he wouldn't mind, the more masters who went with him the better. Even though he knew they came for the cauldron of pills, he was grateful. Many days later, in Pill City, those who came with Yemo to Pill City and wanted to go to Mou City were arranged to stay at VIP places in Pill City. Luoying, Ning Qingxue, Tang Beiwei, Luo Fei and them reunited again and were very happy. They caught up and were very emotional. When they came to South Peace State they went around everywhere. Luckily Susu's master arranged places for them or they wouldn't dare to think about their predicament. Only Yunzi was lost. Luo Ying and them knew that Yi Ling and Song Yangzhu as well as Su Jingwen were still in North Far State. Yemo said he would go bring there to Mou City after they returned to Mou City. They knew how hard it was to bring this many people over but everyone believed in Yemo. He came to Luoyu later but was far ahead of them. It had been 2 or 3 years and he needed to bring them back. He wanted to find Lu Wuhu to see if he could make a top-grade flying magic artifact for him to fly back. Yemo was going to find Lu Wuhu but Lu Wuhu was more desperate to find Lu Wuhu. There were too many people on the road and Yemo was with his Susu. He didn't even get an opportunity to speak. Now, he had to ask Yemo. Yemo was pulled inside the house before he even walked in. When Yemo actually went inside the inner room, he was dazed. There was another small dimension here. It was spacious and luxurious. The spirit chi was so dense that he didn't dare to imagine there was at least a low-grade spirit range here. Stop acting shocked, you have much better things than me. I only have this spirit range, you probably don't even consider it valuable. Heaven flame, earth flame, that pill cauldron, and that octagonal cauldron. Hee, especially that kitchen knife. Lu Wuhu smiled. Do you have something important that you called me over so desperately? Yemo quickly changed the topic. If this old guy wanted to take his things by force, there really was nothing he could do. Lu Wuhu glared at him. How can I be interested in your things? That's good, my things aren't worth money. Yemo quickly said. Lu Wuhu said in contempt. Not worth money? The thing you annihilated the fire-eating bugs is shadowless worm, right? Other people can't tell, but I can. Lu Wuhu got up and waited excitedly for Yemo to reply. Yemo nodded, he had to admit it. It was because he had long since known that his little pet was shadowless worm. Yemo nodded, he had to admit it. It was because he had long since known that his little pet was shadowless worm. But Yemo didn't know anything about it, thing didn't it introduce either. It really is shadowless worm. Lu Wuhu became excited. He clapped his hand and walked excitedly in circles but then shook his head. Pity, such a legendary thing is being wasted by you. I would rather you waste a few more South Peace State 10 beauties than. Seeing that Yemo's face looked bad, Lu Wuhu rubbed his hands and smiled. I'm joking. Yemo ignored him. He had quite a few things that were legendary things but he still got them. There were too many legendary things. Jiu Qian's one purple flare was also legendary. Even the fire-eating bugs he annihilated weren't seen everywhere. Lu Wuhu rubbed his hand and said, Once the shadowless worm approves of a master, it will never change it, so don't worry, I won't scheme for it. But the shadowless worm has a specialty and that is each time it evolves, it envelopes itself in silk. Have you seen this? Yemo remembered that and thus took out a ball of white silk and asked, Are you talking about this? That's right. Lu Wuhu took it from Yemo's hand and said, Yes, it's this. This was the second time Yemo saw Lu Wuhu so excited. The first time was when he took out the bitter bamboo leaf. Such a good thing, forgery treasure! Lu Wuhu exclaimed. Yemo said plainly, Brother Lu, I know it's forgery treasure, but after you're done looking at it, can you give it back? Lu Wuhu looked at Emo with some awkwardness but didn't give it back. Seeing that Emo didn't talk for a while, he said embarrassedly, "How about I help you concoct something or attack for you 3 times and owe you?" "Stop." Emo waved his hand. "You still owe me from last time and now here we go again." Lu Wuhu felt more awkward but didn't want to let go of the silk strand. Suddenly he seemed to have thought of something. He took out 3 jade boxes and opened them in front of Emo. "Have a look yourself, take it if you like." After seeing these things, Emo took a cold breath in. He thought he had a lot of good things, but now seeing the things Lu Wuhu took out casually, he immediately realized that he was a beggar compared to Lu Wuhu. There was level 8 material dark ice marrow, level 8 spirit herb illusion magic flower, and even 1 flame lotus heart. Kong Yi gave him 1 before and now Lu Wuhu had 1 too. Luckily he hid his Miss Lotus Heart fire in the Golden Page world as soon as he came to Pill City, or else it would have been found out by this guy. Emo knew that the Flame Lotus Heart was a top-grade item. It might not be very good for forgery, but it was very useful to him. Yet Lu Wuhu was willing to take this out. This could let his Miss Lotus Heart fire upgrade. This guy knew he had the Miss Lotus Heart fire and didn't take it out last time. Yet this was just his casual offer. One could see how many good things he has stored away. Emo suddenly regretted giving him the bitter bamboo leaf for just a few times of helping him. What was Shadowless Worm? How could Lu Wuhu take the silk it made so seriously? Suddenly, Emo even wanted to learn forgery himself. What if this silk was a very good thing? Then wouldn't he lose greatly? Putting that aside, Emo looked at these things. He wanted all of them. But before he could speak, Lu Wuhu said, "Brother Yi, since you know the use of the Shadowless Worm silk, you should know that its first silk has the lowest value. You can only choose one." Emo was dumbfounded. He didn't know shit. Emo knew that he could only get more things out of Lu Wuhu if he said he knew the value. Now that Lu Wuhu said this, didn't that mean he could only choose one? Suddenly Emo felt things weren't right. If the silk could only swap with one item, Lu Wuhu wouldn't take out this many. He only needed to take out the Flame Lotus Heart. He would take it for sure. Since he took out Flame Lotus Heart as well as many other things, it meant he was so desperate for it, so he took out something that was equivalent in value to the silk. The last sentence might be Lu Wuhu testing him. Thinking about this, Emo said calmly, "Brother Lu, don't try to scam me please, I'm a level 7 pill king. I don't need to say the value of the Shadowless Worm silk." Then Emo said, "I'll take all of it." He then moved those jade boxes close to him. Lu Wuhu saw this and didn't get angry. "Okay, but you must agree that the next time your worm makes silk you need to give it to me, at least 3 times. Emo quickly said. "That's fine that you have a proposal, but so do I, and that is that you let me study your forgery manual. You want to learn forgery as well?" Lu Wuhu looked at Emo in disbelief. "You're a pill king and a formation great master, now you want to learn forgery?" Emo scratched his head and said in embarrassment, "It's a bit troublesome to ask you every time." Okay, you can be my disciple." Lu Wuhu rubbed his hands and grew excited. Emo suddenly stared at Lu Wuhu and asked, "Brother Lu, how many level 9 forgery Grand Masters are there in South Peace State?" "Around 7 or 8. Lu Wuhu said. "Then what about pill kings above level 7? Emo asked. "About 4 or 5. Lu Wuhu suddenly felt that Emo had bad intentions. "Then you want me, a level 7 pill king who is rarer than forgery Grand Masters, to be your disciple? What do you think the old pill kings in Pill City would think?" Emo took the jade boxes and asked calmly. Lu Wuhu smiled. I'm joking. Here, this is a forgery manual." Lu Wuhu threw a jade slip to Emo. Emo saw that Lu Wuhu wanted to send him off, but he said slowly, "Brother Lu, you told me last time you would help me forge and I haven't had time to find you. I came today just for that. Of course, if it's beyond a cultivation artifact I would love it even more." Lu Wuhu said unhappily. I knew it. Tell me, what do you want? Yemo said. I want an extreme-grade flying magic artifact that can fly from South Peace State to North Far State. What? Lu Wuhu interrupted before Yemo finished. Are you dreaming? Even if you have that, you can fly from South Peace State to North Far State yourself? The ancient beings in the Heartless Sea would have devoured you countless times. Even I need to use a lot of effort to go from South Peace State to North Far State without taking the teleportation formation. Yemo asked again. Just tell me, can you do it or not? Lu Wuhu smiled. Even if I can make it, do you have the materials? It needs special flying materials, even I can't gather them all. Yemo took out a few materials and asked. What about these things? Lu Wuhu saw these things and his eyes were unable to move anymore. 9 feather golden eagle's tail feather, a level 10 material. Huang star rock, a level 9 material. Half extreme grade star sand, a level 9 material. He stared at Yemo. Where did you get all this from? Huang star rock and the tail feather are the most suitable materials to concoct flying magic artifacts. Did you long want to concoct a flying magic artifact? That's why you were searching around everywhere? That's right, Brother Lu. Can you tell me if it can be made? Yemo said helplessly. That was all he had. Lu Wuhu nodded. Of course it can, but it's missing a main material. I happen to have a top-grade 10,000-year Luwood heart. I'll give it to you as well. I'll even add a bit of that bitter bamboo leaf, but even with this top-grade flying magic artifact, your power is a bit. Yemo knew that his power was too low. You're tuning into the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.